entombed for 3,000 years, wrapped, growing in me. I have lived an eternity, suspended in darkness. Release me. Condemned and bound, the sands of time have run out. Curse fills the room, curiously open my tomb. Rising from the cradle of death, my sentence has come to an end. Release me, release me, wasting and running. Release me, release me. My curse is your curse, death is the gift I bring. Revenge in my hands, I feel no remorse. This is the mummy's curse. Release me, release me, wasting and running. Release me. Release me. Who's holding my hand in the darkness? Seeing ghosts down the hallway. There's a presence, bedroom shadows, cloaked and haunting me. Cold hand touching me. Fear overwhelming me. Tapping at my window. I can't bear to open my eyes. A breath on my neck. Floating apparitions everywhere. Go
Okay, folks, welcome to Paranormal Roundtable. I'm your host, Josh Turner, and this is PRT, and everything looks different on here. What is this? Okay. So tonight, we got a lot to go over, a lot to talk about, a lot going on in the world of the strange, unknown, paranormal. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and this is, we're not gonna get political tonight, all right, folks? Go watch my YouTube, my Facebook if you want to see funny about the whatever stupid people having meltdowns over stupid crap. But get out of here. We're not here to do that. I'm not gonna bash people. I'm not gonna do anything. We're not gonna talk about all the. So we have the YouTuber, if you want to even call him that, who is calling upon his listeners to mass report us. And to thank you for that donation, Barry.
A little bit late to the party for that.
Yeah, to mass report us, and he's saying that we have fake subs. Go look at our numbers. I encourage everybody to go check us out on what's it called?
Social Blade.
Social Blade. Our numbers are clean, dude, and they're not climbing that high, that fast. So
You can just look at our live stream numbers. We'll get more people in a live stream than channels that are like 2-3 times bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just on a impromptu stream that we don't even promote or announce or nothing. So
I bet you a bunch of people are probably that watch us too. They don't like us as people, but they still come to watch us because they can't, because you're not going to get the good information. So here's what's happening. Nellie's making a YouTube show. She did, and it's called. My mind just blanked out.
Random Files.
Random Files. Oh, Nellie, please don't be mad. I am so tired. I am so beat down. I am beat the hell down right now, folks. But we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to get some stuff done. It's going to be good. And then, we got an episode or two we're going to release during this week coming up. What is that? It's like vibrating the toilet.
It's on your phone.
So the Random Files, and we're going to do some work with her, but she's going to do some stuff on her own too. Go to the Random Files, please, and sub. She needs to get to 100 so she can go live. I believe that this will change nothing, that she will continue to hide from the camera. So what we're going to have to do is force her to become famous, to become popular. So we're going to put hidden cameras all over the place and follow every movement of her like the Truman Show.
We've already hired the actors. They're on standby.
Yeah.
They're paying on commission.
How do we switch cameras? Is that
All right.
good? What was it you said, Tom?
I said we already hired the actors.
We already got it. It's a done deal.
Mm-hmm. They've already signed the next 10 years of their life away.
There's nowhere to hide. We're gonna have commercials hidden inside of it. It's gonna be called the Nelly Show. And somebody just said they like the PRT group. Go join the PRT group. I don't even keep up with the PRT group. And then we have PRT News, and we have the PRT. The prayer group. They're all on Facebook. They've all been under attack. Constantly, never-ending attacks, and people are too stupid to realize they're just being used. But such is life. So here's what I got to tell you before we get started with anything. We cannot do the mail ops yet. Okay. So yes, we have your information, the people who sent it anyway. You're going to have to hang tight, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to be very, very blunt and honest. And this isn't, thank you for that donation. We're not asking or begging from, people say we're always begging for money. Okay. That's the biggest lie. they do the same thing to many other people. And that's how things get started. You know, they make up something and people run with it because they don't like you, so they support the lie. And then next thing you know, you did all these horrible things that never happened. And so that's what they do. They make up a bunch of lies. And so, dude, no, we're not begging for money. Okay. What we're going to tell you though is we have to do this rescore credit thing. And so we cannot use our credit cards. And it's been going on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become tedious nightmare that I'm about ready to just give up and say to hell with it. I am just so beat down with this crap. I've been dealing with it for weeks, and it's costing us a bunch. And so I think we're just going to go live in teepees. And
Yurts.
We're just going to do that. But
I'm Vietnamese, so I'll just dig a hole in the ground.
Yeah. We can't use our cards, and then we can't use any money in the bank because we need all that to put the down payment on the house. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You tell me. The system is geared toward this crap. So we're living off of, and it's so crazy because like if we were to ask for the money to help us with the down payment or whatever, you don't just have to have the down payment, which is a huge chunk of change. You have to have at least 3 months worth of mortgage available too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just the money we have to come up with. And so you can't go and ask somebody like a random friend of yours. No, it has to come from a relative. And it has to be like you can use an aunt or uncle, a sibling, or a parent. That's it. You can't use anybody else. And it is so weird, like the way they do it too. They'll scrutinize it. And so you can't, I couldn't go to my friend and say, hey, could you spot me this money for the reserve so that I could use money in my account so I don't have to use, so I have to keep that money in there for a reserve. We can't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're literally living I'm not joking. We're living hand to mouth. And, the only thing you can do is go to the pawn shop, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And this is how they expect us to live so that we could live in a house.
Oh, because you're not supposed to own anything. You're not supposed to own assets. You're supposed to depend on the government, live off of government cheese.
You'll rent everything and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you. And so this is what they're doing to us. And so we can't live way out in the middle of the boonies because our business is literally here in town. So what they expect us to do, I do not know. But we're getting to the point where we're almost giving up. It's just too much. And they don't want you to do, they don't want you to be able to have any control over your own destiny. So they want you to conform to their system. And if you don't, then you just get the shaft. And so it's getting worse and worse and worse with this crap, not just for me, but for everybody. And so I'm going through absolute hell. We all are. And so anyways, that's what's happening. We don't have the money to pay for the shipping of the stuff right now. We have stuff that's also sitting at 7 Clay, Josh Sprague's place. And I'm sure Josh would let us take it, but I don't want to take merchandise without paying. But and just have it sitting here because it's not going to do any good anyway. We can't ship it.
Yeah,
the shipping's too expensive right now. So yes, please pray for us that we can get through this period and that we will be done with this. And at the same time, we're trying to sell a piece of property, and the people keep trying to lowball. And I'm like, no, dude, we're not going to. They want to take advantage of you if you're in a tight situation, and I'm not going to do that. And I'm not just going to start dumping assets because that would be foolish. Because I'm going to tell you something, folks, and I want you to hear this because we're going to get started, but it's not quite 300 on there. like I keep saying, money's not going to be money pretty soon. And I know Trump won the election, but it doesn't matter whether he won the election or Jim Bob, Billy Bob won the election. It doesn't matter whether it Kamala, Vamala, Shamala, it doesn't, whoever won. None of them are they. I think he's the better guy to help stop economically, maybe to guide us through the depression that's coming, but he can't stop it. The Wizard of Oz couldn't stop it. God alone, divine intervention, is the only one that can stop what's coming. I'm going to tell you right now. So if you didn't invest in gold, now here's what happened. Overnight, everybody's stocks went through the roof, and everybody's Bitcoin, crypto went through the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in return, gold plummeted. But let me tell you something. Whatever goes down must come back up, especially when it comes to gold. So I'm hoping that gold will go back down to about, I'm hoping, I don't think this is going to happen, but I'm hoping that it will get down to about 23, 24 so we can start purchasing it again. It's too damn expensive to get now. So once I'm off the hook from this baloney that these flaming hoops they're making us jump through like circus poodles, well, you want to live in a house? Well, do this, I don't want to live in it that bad.
I think it'd be easier just to literally build it ourselves.
Yeah, well, that's what the whole point was. But you can't do that because the material is too damn expensive.
No, I mean, like literally just go into the woods. We ourselves just cut
Like
it
Bigfoot?
down.
Just
It'd be
chop-
less hassle.
Yeah.
Chop it down, plank it, and
Just
then
make a log cabin.
yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude. So prayers, please, for us that we, and please pray for my brother. His foot is not healing good, and he doesn't have insurance, and it's really just, I am in a very weird place when it comes to this. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to do everything we can. There's just a lot of, I don't know. Anyways, I know we'll be okay, but it's just a rough period that you have to go through. That everybody that buys house, this is what happens, And so I just want that's the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I can't do the mail offs right now. That's it. And I only got so many rings. I can pawn some, but pawning is stupid. You're not going to get anything but 300% interest.
It's a sucker's deal.
It's a sucker's deal. So if you're going to do it, just sell it and put it on consignment. So what we decided, I have my mother's jewelry. My mother told me about 6 months before she got really ill. She wanted me to have it. Of course, I didn't get it all because I have a greedy sibling, and she decided that it would be better off with her. I guess I don't know. So all of her necklaces were looted. So I only got a couple of the rings that I'd gotten over the years, but they're very nice. And so I'm thinking about. She said if I ever needed anything, that she wouldn't hold it against me to sell those. So I'm going to put those on consignment. And I'm going to be unloading a lot of valuable things that I've purchased and that I've collected over the years that are worth money. I put a lot of money in assets over the years so that I can get what I need to do. Because, and it's only temporary, it's a liquidation to achieve our aims and then move on. People are broke, bottom line. And I'm not one of those channels that comes on here and tells you, to give money and all this other crap. My rivals or my supposed rivals, competitors, they do it all the time. And then they turn around and point the finger and lie and say, we don't do that. And we don't put anything behind a paywall. But we did have a suggestion from one of our listeners, and I'm going to do this. I am going to do something special for the Patreon members. Not only are you going to get the swag bags, because we have a ton of merchandise. We have a ton of it. And what we're going to do is as soon as we get set up for it, we're going to shoot for the 21st, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do our first Q&A exclusively for Patreon members. And we're going to start doing a lot of different things with the Patreon because I think that's going to be the way to keep the channel alive and keep the channel going. A good way to support the channel too, besides donations or whatever, put the PayPal link up there. If you want to donate, you can help with the PayPal. If you don't. You know, nobody's obligated to do anything. But put the PayPal link up there. But what we can do is lost my train of thought. Buy a membership, which I think it's only like $5, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's $5, and then you get entered into the giveaway, the drawing, which we will do tonight. We forgot to do it last Sunday, but we are going to do it tonight. And don't worry, we will get your stuff. Everybody always gets their stuff. It's going to take a little while until hopefully the middle of this week. They said anywhere from the middle to the end, we should be on the other side of this. We did a rescore, and they predicted that it was going to raise it up 40 points. We're trying to get it over 7 or whatever, so we don't have to pay the extra 5% or whatever, which is $12,000. You know, this is what they do, right? So we pay all this money to do that, and something happened that was not correct, and it only raised my score 1 point. And the mortgage broker was shocked. The finance people were shocked. They were like, well, that's never happened. That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, no shit. But it did. And now we have one last shot. So pray that it works. But you know what? I'm not tripping. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
We move in another direction. One thing that living out in the country, though, has afforded us, being out in the middle of nowhere out at the ranch and just staying out there full time, is that we have been able to go out and do some investigating that we were not doing before because we were in Austin all the time working. But now that we're forced to be out there, we're like, hey, these haunted ass places, they're just like right down the road. Let's just go check them out. So we've checked out a couple places. One was here in Austin, of course, but the other one, Lawrence Cemetery. And I definitely want to go back when we can get the equipment. The equipment we're trying to get isn't that expensive. It's like $2,200.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't do shit right now. Money. But I tell you this, when this is over with, I'll have spectacular credit. Like my credit will be like good credit. It'll be like, you know, businessman New York credit.
Black card credit.
You know. So yay for that. Then you can't do nothing with it because if you do get the house, you got to refinance in a year. So don't do nothing. It's like when they punt the ball and they're waiting for it to be blown dead. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. Then Leon Lett touches it and makes it big. You know. And how about them Cowboys? Boy, they suck. They are awful. I hope Dak never comes back.
Oh, and
I hope he takes Jerry Jones and the coach McCarthy under each arm. Don't ever come back. Oh, I can tell you that right now. It's a good shirt. It's a good shirt, Plymouth. He says his son's got this shirt. It's a good shirt. Can you post that on here? Let's see. There you go. So anyway, we got 336 people in here. That's what's going on. I just had to get that out and so you understand what's happening with the mail-offs. We're not playing around. We are going to get it done, okay? And I don't put a lot of faith in Tony, but he's all up to you, Tony.
Oh God.
Where am I?
See what I mean?
What part of the town is this?
That's what we're dealing with.
Are we in Philly?
He's not.
I don't even know how far and how long it takes to ship things from Vietnam.
He's not used to seeing his surroundings. His hair is always in his eyes,
Not anymore. You got a haircut.
like a
Now he
skater
looks like
kid.
Richard Ramirez.
Benjo, you gotta tell me where to go.
Banjo's eyes are facing
So
two different
creepy, dude.
directions. He never
He's like
knows
the
what he's
Asian
looking at
Buffalo
either.
Bill, you know, the little dog puts the lotion in the basket or whatever.
He
puts the lotion on the skin
and also gets the hose again.
Good grief, man. So here, there's my brother. Tell Scorp to get his butt in here. I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's working. Yeah. So.
No.
So anyways, here's what's going on. We got a lot that's happening. Where we're at, we're kind of in a holding. We're just kind of in a holding pattern. We can't do anything. And so I have been working on the vampire book, and I made some progress. We're about halfway through right now. So that's good. That's afforded me some time to do that because I don't, do anything else but sitting out in the middle of nowhere and then going into town to work. And the other thing that we're able to do is work on some projects, but we can't finish them. Okay, and this is what you can't finish. You can't do anything until you're done with the glove up your butt. I mean, once they're done with that, so hopefully we'll get that done. But anyway, we have a great show planned. We have a lot to talk about, and it's going to be your choice because we have so much going on. I'm so excited about all this stuff that's been happening here. Dude, I got a giant frog-like reptilian story from the Rio Grande. We never got to tell it. Remember? Mm-hmm. We never got to tell that one. And then we have a giant that was seen in Mexico near Tulum, Mexico. And get this. These are my words. Nobody called and said, hey, I saw a minotaur. I think it was a minotaur. It's just like when Russell, what was his name that came on the other day? What was the guy that was the guest? He came on.
What was his last name?
Oh God, Nelly knows. Nelly, tell me the guy's name. Great guy, nice guy. Talked about seeing the centaur. He came on the show. People see some weird things. Okay, let me just get started with this one. Here's a good one. Okay, this one comes from Jermaine. I've known this guy for a few years. He's a part-time listener to the show. He went away for a little while, and I'm not going to say his last name or anything like that. So I asked him, I said, where were you at? And he said, I was in jail in Mexico.
Oh, no.
He went to jail in Mexico, and he spent 6 months in there.
He was on an adventure.
Well, no. What happened was he was in Mexico, and he got pulled over. And Jermaine's African-American. And the guy he was with did not claim the pistol that was under the seat. Said, it's not my car. And so they kept them both. And then after about 2 months, his so-called friend got out. Now, Jermaine is 29 years old. Now, you see, Jermaine, how young people do you. I've heard of this, people doing some crap like, boy, but he was angry. And he's like, I'm going to do this and that to this person, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, you're not, because then you're going to be in jail in the United States. Okay? Don't do it. It's not worth it, Jermaine. So we talked, and he actually agreed to pray for that person and not go in and, do a 187. I would have, it's hard. You did 6 months in jail behind some bull crap that this person did. I get it. But when he was in jail, he learned a couple things. And one of the things he got transferred to a nicer facility. And the place where he was at was some little rinky-dink place outside of not Matamoros. What's the big one? Big city up here in the north. Oh God,
Juárez.
No.
Is Piedras Negras?
No. Those are border towns. No. Where Elias was from. He's always talking about it. I can't believe this. My stepdad has a ranch right outside. I can't. My mind's blanking now. Anyway, he was locked up. Now I got to look it up. I'm so sorry.
I mean, is it a border
Somebody
town?
give me some. No, it's not a border town. I just said that. Some people give me some cities. Not Reynosa. Monterrey.
I thought that was central Mexico.
No, it's north central. It's not. Go look it up. So he got transferred to Monterrey, just north or just south of there, to this little facility. It's not been around a real long time. It's nicer. And they said, well, you're a low security threat. So they stuck him in there. And he said one of the things they had was a book program there. Well, you wouldn't think Mexico would give a crap. They just throw food over the wall and just
pig slop.
Yeah, but it was actually a nicer facility, and they would put some of the Americans in there so they they wouldn't be accused of being harsh to them or whatever. And so he got access to some library books and things like that. So he was sitting in the library. Get this. This is a good story to start. He goes, I was sitting in the library, spent so much time in there. He's like, I fell asleep one day. He goes, and I was learning Spanish very quickly. I was catching on. He goes, and I was already starting to, and he was down there in Mexico with this friend of his because that guy was obsessed with some girl. But he went down there, and then the dude didn't know the guy had a gun and was going to go and try to do something. The guy totally lied and tricked him, whatever.
So I'm telling you.
So he ends up down in Mexico, and he's in the library, and he falls asleep, like in the library because he's in there all the time. And he said, dude, I had this dream that I woke up, and he goes, and I'm looking around, and he goes, and all these people in the library, they all looked like there were two different kinds of people. They looked like they were either dead, like you could see through their flesh and they were skeletons, or they looked like lizards. And he goes, I'm not kidding. He's like, and so I woke up and I thought, oh, what a weird dream. So then he goes back to his cell and he says the way they had it laid out there, you didn't have your own individual cell. Like you were in a bunk. There were 6 to whatever, a little pod. And he said our pod was pretty chill. There were 4 Americans, a Canadian, and then one guy from Guatemala, and everybody got along. It was pretty chill, And he's like, they moved in a couple other people. When other people would leave, he goes, and then those guys adapted, and we got along. And he said that whole time I'm trying to get out of there. And eventually he did get out because his family was able to pay his way out. That's how corrupt it is. So he got out. But he said he had this dream. So then he goes back to his cell. And he's like, I hadn't really thought about it. He had, watched the show off and on. He was like, he wasn't like a avid listener. Shame on you, Jermaine. You should be a super fan like everybody else. But I will he gave me a good compliment. He said that he could relate to our show. Which is cool. I appreciate that he could relate to it. But he said, I had this dream. And then he goes, when I go back to my cell, I continue, the dream continues. So then he's like, I had this, what does it say? This person says, this Mike man, this show sucks anymore. Same story's boring. I'm out. Thank you, Ike. We appreciate it.
Bye, Felicia. Nobody cares.
You know who he is. Just ban him from the show.
It's already done.
Yeah, okay. That's probably the guy that wrote the silly poem the other day. You will pay for what I have done. You will pay for what I did to my son. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we know who you are. Go eat, horse shit.
Got a court date coming up on the 27th. Don't forget that.
Yeah, well, they'll just keep getting it set back because he pretends to be a native. So, whatever. So, anyways, that's the only acknowledgement we're giving you. Okay, go dust yourself off, take a shower, nasty. So anyway, what ends up happening? He has this dream where he wakes up, and the guard is standing there by the front of the. There's like a door, you can see through. There's like a little window, whatever. And the guy goes like this, tells him to come here, come here. And he says he goes over there, and the guy pulls him out. And he goes, and I kid you not, dude. He goes, they take me to a little room, and they set me down, and they started asking me all kinds of questions in English, Yeah, exactly, Morgan. Skin tag removal. Yeah, that's what he needs. And so they started asking him in English. And by the way, he's the one claiming that we're fake subbing, that we need to be destroyed and whatever. So he's the one doing he's trying to mess with our algorithms and all that. It's him. And I'm sure it's in him and his buddy Roofer. So he gets taken to this holding area, and this is a crazy story. And he says this guy comes and he sits down, and he says, while the guy's talking to him, he just keeps flicking this pen in his hand. I've had people do that. They just fidgety, rolling the pen in your finger, type thing, whatever. I've been that way too at times when I'm fidgety, whatever. Do we have any 77s or topos?
Not in here.
God dang.
I can ask Nelly to grab something.
Yeah, maybe you could message her or something. So what ended up with this guy? He says, I'm looking at this guy. And Jermaine told me this straight up. He says, Wolf, I'm looking at this dude, man. And he says, and in the middle of our conversation, he kind of takes his face and he puts his hands on his face. He goes, and I see his skin slide. Like the right side of his face went down and the left side went up. He goes, and it, for a minute there, it like kind of covered up his eyes, and the skin was coming off of his face like it was a mask. He goes, and I'm sitting there going like, whoa, what the hell? And the dude moved it back real quick and was like, kind of shook his head and was like, oh, I'm so tired. You know, and he got up and walked out of the room. And then one of the guards came and asked him, he goes, what's wrong with you, man? And he's like, I'm in shock. My eyes are wide. And I'm like, this dude just, well, that's not the word you told me. He's like, this person, expletive, just moved his face off his head. You know, and he's like, I'm looking at this dude like, what? Like and the dude told him, hey, you know, don't be so stressed out. And he goes, how the hell am I not supposed to be stressed out? The dude from Men in Black just moved his face up and down. And the dude was like, you talking a lot. Why are you talking a lot? Why are you seeing things? And he goes, I don't know, because y'all are doing things. And so they took him from his peaceful pod, took away his gym privileges, took away his privileges to go to the library, and they put him in a cell with 36 Mexican people from Mexico who were no English, and that were some of these people he was pretty sure were like cartel members,
violent offenders.
Yeah, and so he gets in there. First night he's in there, he gets jumped and he gets the hell beat out of him. So he requests to talk to somebody in charge, and once again, and they blew him off for a couple of days, and then they told him, come here. And they took him back to this room, and a different guy, well, this time it was a woman, sat him down and told him, you need to stop lying and telling people that you saw, you know, what you saw, things, weird things. And he goes, I didn't tell anybody. He's like, I'm going like, these people know that I saw something, and they're assuming that I'm going around telling people this. And he's like, so he goes, I sat there and I told people, I said, I did not say anything about what I saw. So they knew that he was seeing something.
Yeah.
He couldn't figure out why some of the people looked dead. But what he did notice about that was that when he came to, the only people he saw in the library were people that worked there, and then one inmate. And they were the ones, there were 4 of them. He said they were the ones that looked like reptiles. And I'm sitting there going like, so the other people he saw, now this is his conclusion, not mine, because I'm not him. I'm not Jermaine, and I don't know. And he said, you know, yeah, thank you for send me some videos, Vasquez. Appreciate it. A lot of interesting stuff coming my way these days. And so he said, he was like, I looked. He goes, and those were ghosts. They had to be. And then he said that we were all in our cell at one point. We were playing cards. We had a deck of cards, you know, and we had dominoes. And he goes, I had a pretty good little group of guys in there. We got along, you know. And he said that they were playing cards, and he goes, they look over in the corner and they see a guy sitting there like cleaning his shoes, and everybody saw it. He goes, the whole pod saw it, and they were all like, what is that? Like, who's this guy? And then right before our eyes, he goes, he just kind of vanished. He's like, and so the place was extremely haunted. It was haunted because what happened was it was an old dilapidated prison that they built onto. They added a wing on there, and that was kind of the nicer, newer, whatever. And they were slowly phasing the old part of it out, but that they had knocked down one of the old parts. And the areas where this place where he was at was once known for where they executed people.
Mm.
And so in Mexico, you know, well, there's due process if you have money.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be like, you want to go see the judge? You pay me.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go free? You pay me. You want to eat fish? Huh? No. Okay, you eat dirt. You pay me. Simple as that. I mean, you know, it's just fedia. You don't have it, you don't get anything. And so he was getting sort of preferential treatment because he was an American, but he was also, you know, getting his uncle and his dad, his mom, whatever, were sending money, and he had all his family were chipping in to help him. He credits one of his uncles who really helped him. He's his uncle's best friend was a lawyer, and they really helped him get out of the jam. And eventually, they got him back. He didn't do quite 6 months, but he goes, it was crazy. And but then when I come back, and he's here in the United States. He lives up in Maryland, but he used to anyway. Now he doesn't. But he lived in Maryland, and he said once I got back to the States, and I was, the first night back, I'm in the bed, with my girlfriend. And he goes, and I had made a horrible error. He goes, we moved, from, years ago, we had moved from Maryland near Baltimore. So he was living in Arizona. And he said, we moved further north, And he goes, I couldn't believe, like, the dreams I was having, these weird, like I was being stalked by something, and it just wouldn't go away. So to this day, he says he's still having these dreams. He was locked up in 2022, something like that. 23. I guess. Well, I guess it would have been, part of 22, 23. That was when he was. But he said, dude, to this day, it's still going on. But he's like, I've had dreams for years of weird stuff. And so when we started going down the rabbit hole with him, he started telling me when he was young, when he was little, it was him and his brother. This is a weird story. And his cousin and his aunt, like his mom and his aunt, her sister, were shopping. It took them shopping. And he goes, we were badass little kids. I know I was too. I was a little holy terror. If I could get away, I'd get away from my mom and go play. And the next story, this one, the Kmart one. Yeah. But anyway, that's the next one. But here's what ended up happening. He said, when I was a kid, we were coming home and it was Christmas time. It was like, right after Thanksgiving. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was December yet. But we had just gone to shopping, after Thanksgiving sales or whatever. He's like, and my aunt, he goes, my mom she made money. She did pretty good. And so she would take care of her siblings. And he goes, my aunt was always having problems. The guy she was with was very abusive. And ultimately, he ended up ending her life when he was, in his 20s. And he said it was very traumatic for him, especially for his brother who was there when it happened. And so anyway, he did drugs and this guy, and he ended up hurting his aunt eventually. But he said, he ended up going Christmas shopping, whatever. But of course, he's a kid. So the stuff that was being bought was nothing for him.
Yeah.
So he was just like, screw this, whatever. And so she's like, we're going to go next week and you can't go because we're going to shop, whatever. And so he started kind of moaning and groaning. He goes, and my mother was very strict. He goes, but my aunt was very like kind of loose with her children, not like we were. He goes, and I always wanted her to be my mom because of how nice she was compared to my mom. But he goes, but then I realized, all of her kids grew up to be, basically feral,
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and me and my brother and sister were not. He's like, so we're all in the car. We're coming home from the Christmas shopping, and we were looking up at these lights on this water tower. He's like, and the next thing you know, it's like 3 a.m, and my mom and my aunt are like driving home. He's like, and we get home, and my dad comes outside and starts arguing with my mother. And he goes, and my uncle, his nickname was Cash. He's like, Cash was outside, and they were extremely pissed off. And they were like, why are you just now coming home? And they couldn't answer it. They had no clue, and none of them know why. So you had 5 little kids, bouncing around, in the back of a SUV, whatever. And he's not that old. So this was, 20 years ago, something like that, or 22 years ago. But he was like, I couldn't understand what the hell had happened. And my mother started having these dreams. And I remember one day she was at the table and the preacher was there. And he said that she was crying to the preacher, and the preacher had told her, or the preacher was talking to the husband, his dad, and saying, well, this is demonic. This is all demonic. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I just remember that. He's like, but then later on, he goes, me and my brother started having dreams of these beings that were really dark, shadowy looking beings because I never saw them full on. They were always kind of moving in this corner of my eye.
Mhm.
He goes, and then we would lose time. And he's like, and now I know there was something going on with that. Well, after these abduction scenarios, I say that they're abduction scenarios. He never said he saw an alien. He never said he was aboard a craft. I'm saying that this is probably, well, let's say if we had to put a label on it, let's say that's what it is.
Mhm.
Right? So he has these lost time, exactly. Salem Nemesis says it right there. Lost time. And then thank you for the donation there too. We appreciate that. Joe, we appreciate that. Joe, 2 pops. And so, he asked me, he's like, what do you think it is? I said, that's alien abduction. Well, he had no tracking, anything, whatever, on him. But he started going online and talking to other abductees. Well, that's how he met his girlfriend. Charisse, I believe was her name. And so she ended up having a tracking device. You know how Truth and Bass, they've been on the show.
Mhm.
We were at the conference. They showed us
Yeah.
their little, rice, great little things on their legs. She had one of those. And like he I told him to reach out to Truth, because they have a lot in common because of the but she is very weird about it. And she doesn't like to talk about it with anybody. Like, she'll talk to him, but she wouldn't even talk to me. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe one day she'll come around. But after this is what gets me. After he had these experiences as a kid, I think he said he was like 7 when he had the weird missing time as a kid. He's been able to see people, or what look like ghosts to him is what he calls them. And they look like, sometimes they'll look like something floating with like a membrane over a skeleton.
Cleaned out his pineal gland.
Yeah, and it's very bizarre. So when he saw that in the dream state that he was in, he goes, a lot of times I'll be out in public. So one time he was at a food court in a mall in Arizona, and he goes, and I started getting sleepy because he had moved out there to be with this girl who he's now married to. And he said, I started getting sleepy. My wife was pregnant at the time, and we had an argument. And instead of arguing with her, because you don't want to argue with a pregnant woman and make her feel bad, whatever. He said, I went to the mall and I ate a hot dog or something. He said, I can't remember what he said. He said it was like something. And he had some fast food, and he started feeling like he had indigestion. And then next thing you know, he wakes up and he's falling backwards in his chair. And he kind of goes forward, and the security guard was asking him if he was okay. Well, he said he looked up and he saw the security guard's heart through his body.
Oh.
And the guy's heart was going like not beating real good. He was an overweight guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he told that guy, he said, man, you need to get your heart checked. You're in bad health. And the guy was like breathing hard. He goes, yeah, I'm having trouble breathing. And he realized like that dude was ill. And he goes, I don't even know how I knew. I just knew I could see his heart.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets up and he leaves. And he said that when the guy, the next time he came back to them, it was like a week later, the guy had passed away.
Oh,
like the guy was gone. So, something happened to this guy as a kid. But here's the thing. Here is the rub of it all. His brother and his sister and his 2 cousins had none of this ability. Like they don't see these things like he does. They don't have these experiences like he does.
Did anything strange happen to them after they had that lockdown?
Dreams, weird dreams. That's all. Weird dreams. Now, one of the 2 females, his first cousin, his aunt's daughter, who's a year older than him, and then his little sister, who was like 4 or 5. He said she was a few years younger than him, so I don't know. But they both dreamed of aliens, in particular grays and a type of 3-fingered reptilian-looking creatures.
They had no memories of these things.
They don't. It's just
During the
dreams.
lost
It was
time,
like
yeah.
dreams. Yeah, nothing about the water tower with the decorations.
No.
Because there was like a wreath or something on a water tower, and he goes, we all remember that.
Mhm.
And we were like, how did they get that big wreath up there, And so they were just kind of like in awe of it. And then next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. and they're driving home. And it's like kind of snowing.
Just cut to 3 a.m.
Yeah. And then after that, sees weird stuff.
No.
Another weird thing he saw when he was a kid, I remember this, he was telling me. He said he was in his room as a kid, and he lived in the suburbs of Baltimore, wasn't in the city. His family they did pretty well compared to the rest of his family. And kudos his dad. Dad worked hard and got him out of the hood. But his dad was always working. He sacrificed the relationship with his dad. So what happened? He's in his room and he hears this loud. This is weird. He hears this loud like footsteps, but it sounded like he goes, if you listen to like a show or a cartoon and they'll do like the sound effects of like a robot walking, and it's like like that. I can't do the way he does it.
Like mechanical, yeah.
Yeah. And he hears this weird beep 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 beep, like, and it sounds like a toy almost, like maybe his brother. But he said at the time his uncle on his dad's side, the son, he's special needs, was staying with them temporarily because his mother had gone. She was on drugs. She had gone to whatever halfway house. And so he goes, and he was a pretty good kid, so he thought he was playing with something. Do you need coffee?
Yeah.
You look like you need coffee.
I haven't really eaten anything today.
We haven't eaten much at all.
I'm feeling it too.
Why don't you guys give me 1 second, folks. Or you can go get it if you want to get the coffee.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because we got a long night ahead of us. So here's what ended up going on with this. So I talked to his mate. Nice kid, good kid, great kid. Could have went another direction too. He got in with a bad crowd, but it was kind of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. His parents got him out of there, and they sent him to go to South Carolina to live, or North Carolina to live with some family, and then ultimately he went back up to that area, and then he moved away to Arizona to go be with Charisse, I believe. I think I'm saying her name correct. And so that's what happened with him. And we had talked before. He was like, I got some stories. I got to give you some stories, whatever. And he was going through a rough time at one point, and he was feeling like suicidal. I'm just going to come out and say it. And so this has happened to a lot of people that I've talked to. I don't say a lot. It's not like every other person I talk to is like, oh, I want to not live. But it does happen to some of these people who have these experiences. And what really pisses me off is when other YouTubers, authors, podcasters are douche nozzles and make light of what they say. And he had that happen, which made him infuriated. Because he's like, dude, I'm over here pouring my heart out to this dude. This dude's like, well, you're just having dreams. You're just having nightmares. And he's like, I don't think that's what that is. And so when he found me, he said, hey, you guys, he's like, you, Anthony, Tony, y'all are for real. And he had communicated with Scorpion a little bit too. And Scorpion had told him, hey, there's this guy, talk to him, blah, blah, blah. But, if you can't get a hold of me, you can always reach out to one of the other guys. There's several of us you can talk to. We're all kind of a little group here. We work together. We hang out together, and so there's several of us. I mean, you can reach out to. If you can't get a hold of me, there's other people. And we're not a support group, right, Tony? I don't know what we are.
We are a collective. We
are Trapper Keeper.
Legion.
I was about to say it.
Well, they couldn't.
We are Legion.
How do we move the camera? I don't have a button for that.
Isn't that one?
That you guys have the button and I don't. Well, that's great.
You can't have it all.
Apparently, I can't have anything, not even credit. Yeah.
Can't have nice things. Okay. Oh, my phone.
I tell you what really gets me, what really burns me is I'm not even gonna, it's just people, they don't care. They don't care. We were talking to one of our guards today, her significant other cuts my hair. And it came up about altruism. Is it real? Does it really exist? And she was going really deep, like at the base level, does altruism really exist? And I believe it does, but some people would argue that no, it doesn't, because you're doing it because you're always getting something out of being good. And we should really strive to try to do good for the sake of doing good. That's in short supply, buddy. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Someone said the new Venom is free on YouTube for a couple of days. Because it's probably that terrible. Nobody's going to watch it.
Why do you always got to go to the negative?
He's always.
It's always negative, dude.
Did you see the last Venom movie?
Yeah, I liked it.
It was
Carnage.
terrible. It was
wrong
garbage.
with
dude.
You're not
It
even
was
into the
terrible.
comics. You don't even know who Carnage is.
Exactly.
No, I liked Woody Harrelson.
What do you know about
as,
Venom?
as,
What do you
as-
know about
as good as
Null?
Cassidy, right? But it was just terrible. It's garbage, dude. I'm sorry. It's like that Marvel, like hee ha ha. That we're being cute with stuff, funny. It's annoying.
What?
You know, sometimes you just
Yeah.
got your let your brain go
Like
dead.
like every
Right? It's not an unwind.
There's like
dude, every
Sopranos
5
and
minutes,
Wires.
There's
And
like
then
some
there's
like
Venom.
some quip. It's like watching a sitcom. It's annoying.
Okay, all right. It sucks. Everything's bad. Well, pray for Anthony that he gets some.
Venom is cool. I just don't like the way they did the movies. Like he's not
Tom
cool
Hardy?
in those movies. Tom Hardy's cool.
Okay, you liked it, right, Tony?
Woody Harrelson, awesome. Tom Hardy,
Obviously there's complaints, but for what the movie is, it's like you want to see Carnage and Venom fight each other. Then yeah, you get it. I'm probably.
I think Spider-Man should have been involved.
Obviously,
awesome.
but at the same time, like I understand with the whole rights and everything, it's like, oh, there's some legalities that they can't do it. Then whatever,
Well,
But
Caitlin
it's like-
Wolf,
you get the best you can.
she says Venom is good, but the new movie looks horrible. Well, maybe it looks horrible. Why don't we give it a chance? Everybody's always like,
I don't know. It's like I think people either are like too harsh on movies or too specific, and it's like just enjoy it sometimes. Just turn your brain off for a second.
Yeah. Sometimes you know what I
Like,
didn't.
you know,
I did not like
You know how you do a
It's
good superhero
balance.
movie is the new Batman movie with what's his name,
Robert
the
Pattinson.
vampire. Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that one.
That one was good.
That's a good movie.
That's one that was
17
like very good.
Justice League.
But
And
even
that
like
Penguin show looks good. I want to see that.
it is good. But even like Morbius, I watched it. I didn't love it, but I could like enjoy the little bits that I did see because as a comic book fan, what you're really
I didn't like Wolverine
enjoying.
and Deadpool.
you should be enjoying seeing what you read on the screen.
I
and
agree
doing the
about
cool stuff like that.
Morbius, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it got like
lot of
lambasted,
hate.
absolutely lambasted it. And then we watched it, and I was like, I mean, this movie's not good, but it's not like the worst thing you've ever
Mhm.
seen. I don't know. I thought it was kind of unfair
I think
the way
it's
they
just people are like
the way they did
everybody's got an
Morbius.
opinion.
They shape our taste, and then they say, "Oh, it's because this is what people want." Well, you made it that way by brainwashing us. I don't know. Anyway,
I'll watch it to give it a chance. Now, will I pay for it? That's a different story. No,
I pirate movies
I pirate movies.
and TV shows.
I
do
do.
you really? I don't.
Well, I mean, not to really TV shows, but like movies. I'm not gonna go to the theater.
Well, if they're
anymore.
not on
I agree with Jason. I like Shazam too. I like both of them.
Yeah.
yeah, Shazam was cool.
He's like, "Who is this man? Solo man? Solo man?"
I think he did as good as you can for a grown man trying to act like a 13-year-old.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he did a good job.
Oh,
Zachary
yeah,
Levi,
yeah.
I think his name is.
Yeah, I thought Shazam was a fun movie.
I always confused him with Jim from The Office.
So, anyways, that was this guy's stories. That's what happened to him. So I thought we'd start off with that. Now, since we're talking about kids being taken shopping and being thrust into weird situations, let me tell you a really creepy one that I got from here in Austin. Okay. And yeah, we talked about it yesterday. What's the guy's name? His first name. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever. Remember his brother's name. His brother's name I remember because his brother's name was Tony. What was his name? We were going over his story last night, Anthony.
Yeah, I don't remember his brother's
We
name.
should have talked to Scorpion because his parents used to take him there to go get his school clothes. At that
Baby Gap.
I don't think Scorpion's ever small enough to go to Baby Gap. But no. There was a Kmart years ago. You guys are probably too young to even remember the Kmart being there. You might, I don't know.
I remember
heard of
going to Kmart
Kmart.
when I was a kid.
I'm talking about the Kmart on Wayne Canyon.
Oh
Oh.
no, we didn't. We never went that far in South Austin.
So here's a scary story. If you don't want to be scared or freaked out. And the other day somebody complained and said that I needed to put a disclaimer when I was going to tell a really scary story. I don't know. What do you call a really scary story?
I mean, it's usually in the title, like scary, terrifying, paranormal, yada yada yada.
Mm.
Does it ghost?
It's your own fault.
Does it include spookies? I think that's when.
To me, terrifying is maybe different from what a lot of people consider to be terrifying. Like, I mean, what's scary to me may not be scary to you. But this one is it was given to us. Here again, this guy's an African American dude, and he was a pretty funny guy. He lives here in Austin, and he's sort of a friend of a friend that I got to know. And he's been telling me for a while he was going to give me a really creepy, terrifying story. Now he gave it to me. It's in his defense. He gave it to me in early October. So I had it for Halloween, and then me and Anthony and Tony were going to do a show like we always do called Halloween Leftovers, right, guys? But we ended up not doing it. But this was one of the Halloween leftovers that didn't get told. And so, God, what is his name? I can't even drive me crazy. I know his nickname, but I'm not going to call him by his nickname. They call him Pookie. That's his nickname is Pookie. That's how I know him. But he's got a name. He gave me permission, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this. Bless you. You all right?
Yeah.
So when he was a kid, like a lot of kids in South Austin, they got their clothes at the Kmart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there used to be a Kmart for years. I mean, when I was a kid, it was there, right? And this guy's I don't want to say a few years young. I'm so old now, but he's in his early 40s, so he's several years younger than me now. But he went to Kmart with his brother Tony, and he goes and he's about 2 years younger. His brother is a couple years younger than him. And he said, I was always getting spanked for things that Tony did. And he goes, you're the oldest. Your brother, he's following your example. And his mama would spank him, whoop his ass,
Sucks being the oldest.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know.
So anyway, how about being the youngest and having to take care of everybody's stupid ass? I'm that. And I didn't even get the privileges of the youngest. You watched it too, Anthony.
Yeah.
There wasn't no benefit to being you for me. My parents were sick of each other. Like, why you look like your mom? You look like your dad. We hate you. You remind us of our failures.
Yeah.
My life was
You're the
pretty
youngest.
great.
You don't deserve shit. The oldest.
When I
is
look
what
at you, I remember that I make bad decisions and lay down with bums. And that's your fault somehow.
Yeah, pretty much.
I could have been something if it weren't for you.
But I think if you're the youngest and your parents are already nuts by the time you're born because the other ones made them nuts, you really get the shaft. But if you're the oldest, you get the shaft. But then if you're the middle, you just kind of get caught in the middle.
You get forgotten
So
about.
the middle kids will have to scream real loud so they can be heard, and then they're like, "Stop screaming!" I see it. Parents are just parents. They're human. They make mistakes. I raised 3 kids, and they suck. 2 of them are right here. I'm joking. Y'all aren't bad kids, but no, it's you stop and you you make mistakes, right? And he said his mother made a mistake because she never believed him. But this is a creepy story. Now follow me what I'm going to tell you. He goes to the Kmart, and it was back to school shopping. He goes, it was, and so he goes, I remember it was summertime, and I was outside and I wanted to ride the little horse thingy. He goes, I was probably like maybe 6. My brother was 4, going on 5. He goes, and I was 6, going on 7. He said, my brother was just getting ready to start school. He goes, I remember that. He goes, and I was going into 2nd grade. And he's like, and my mother, she was just did not play. Mama didn't play that bullshit. All right. And she's like, you're going to stay with me. You ain't going to go look at no toys. Don't be running around acting a fool. Don't sit them to wipe them boogers off. If I'm going to slap you, don't make me slap your nappy head. That kind of mama.
Yep.
Black mama. I like a Mexican mom, the same thing. And she says it in Spanish. Okay. Siéntete ese te cae de la boca. Shit you with every freaking syllable. Shoot. Wait till we get home. You want to play games? That thing that makes me sick. I don't know. Your mom.
Oh man,
What is that?
What are you, Canadian?
Use a word.
I thought you were Mexican. I didn't know we were from Canada.
And then when I would be like, I'd say something in my bread. My mom would be like, "What? What?" I'd be like, "Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Just walking off. What are you doing? What are you?" And in public, don't embarrass them in public because you will get. My mom has taken me to dressing rooms at the JCPenney and whooped my ass where they knocked on the door and said, "Is there something? Is everything okay?" And my mom's like, "Just a minute. Trying on some clothes."
Yeah.
You know how kids are. She's like, talking through her teeth. I don't even know what she's saying. Her face is all red like a tomato. Chill out, man.
My mother has either shown me unconditional love or I've been hit so many times I can't remember all the abuse.
I've seen your mom get
It's either like cold-blooded reptile, no feeling nothing, or like doting on him.
Yeah, depending on her bipolar mood. These is what you get with Asian, Hispanic, or black moms. They just go nuts. Okay, ain't no timeout. What the hell is it? Ain't timeout? I wish I had a time like timeout.
Take time out to whoop your little butt.
Timeout now. Little Brandon, what do they name their kids? Weird shit. Aiden, Gaden, Peyton.
No, I've had time out, but it's insane.
Nobody get no time out.
It's isolation for weeks.
You were like in North Korea, though.
I only had
I
time
remember
out.
going over there one
There was
time.
a DMV fence,
He
remember?
was like locked. Remember that? He had like a little fence. He got locked up in his room, and they were like, "He can't come out of his room." And I was
I
like,
remember like we were all over there visiting, and then and like Tony, you were like he was like sealed off in his room, can't come out.
And remember why that fence was there? Because like the dogs used
The
to like
dogs.
being,
So they wouldn't even let him. Like he would like look over the fence. He couldn't come out of his room, and he like, "Hey, Uncle Wolf," and I'm like, "What are you in Siberia? The hell's going on over here?" I had like politic to, get him out of his room so he could live like a normal kid.
I wish
dude.
Skype was
He went through a
invented.
lot of crap, dude.
I
I'm
could have
not gonna lie.
Skyped y'all from that
Your
room.
stepdad did whatever. But anyway, what's crazy though, so they go, you get it, right? So they go to the Kmart, and he's like, I begged my mama, can I go, look at the video games? No. Can I look at toys? No. So he goes, we just kind of played in orbit around her. And they had those now. Kmart used to have those round racks. I remember these. He was talking about those, and they had women's clothing on them, or they had pants around, and then they're in a big circle.
Yeah, I used to hide in those.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah,
and my mom would be looking for me. I thought it was cute till she found me.
Yeah.
And then you learn to quit doing that. And so he said, me and my brother were playing hide and go seek, and we were running around. He goes, and then get this clown shows up. And then we're talking about clowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
This clown shows up and starts playing with him, and he's like trying to tickle him. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. And he goes, and he's a big, well, he said she was a big chubby woman but it didn't look right. He goes, she looked like her hands looked like a man's hands. You could see like hair, but it was like a woman, and he was all like, what in the hell is that? And he goes, and he was freaked out by it, but it was his little brother was taken in by it. And at one point he picked up his little brother and started walking toward one of the dressing rooms. And he goes, hey. And so he yelled loud enough to where one of the workers came around the corner and was like folding stuff and was like, what's going on? And he's like, hey, that woman's taking my brother. And then the next thing, he puts his brother down. His brother runs towards him. He goes, and this clown woman, as he called her, looked at him and gave him this mean look. He goes, yo, man, she gave me the dirtiest look, like I'm finna die. Okay, this is what he described it to me. And he goes, and this thing runs over to him. And he goes, and the worker's standing right there. He goes, and it goes, you shouldn't have done that. Now, I'm very angry with you. You and your brother are being bad. And so he was like terrified. He's like leaning up against one of these, racks of clothes. And he goes, and I fall into it. He goes, and then it opens up the curtains, whatever, and it leans in. And he goes, and I don't know if this was something that my mind had done or what, because, but it looked like the mouth enlarged and it had these rows of teeth. And he goes, and it looked like, how great white shark's teeth look with the gums and all that. He said it looked like that. He said, now his little brother was like right there next to him. He climbed in. Oh, she brought you guys some food. We don't want any.
No socializing.
We already gave at the office. Oh, we are at the office. Never mind. Dang it. Give again. How many times I got to give? Jeez. Like I'm playing cards with my brother's kids. So he's sitting there, this clown, right? And get this. This is a weird story. So he's got him scared to death inside of the little clothes rack, and his big fat head is there, kind of like my big fat head. Imagine that with clown makeup on, right? Without the beard, though, right? And so you got the Gacy head woman, sticking the head in the clothing, and he's like, "You're in big trouble." And it opens its mouth, and he goes, and we're like, ah, ah. We start screaming, crying, flipping out. He goes, and my little brother starts kicking, and he goes, and he starts just kicking me, kicking my legs, and I'm like rolling around under there. He goes, and then my mother goes and opens the curtain on the other side. He's like, "What are y'all doing? Stop misbehaving!" Blah 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 blah. Yell blah 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 blah. And then the next thing you know, she pulls him out of there, and then he told her the story, this unbelievable story. She's sitting there like, and why shouldn't I whip your ass? Basically. And then he's like, you could ask the lady that works here. She saw and picked up Tony. And so she's like, okay. And the lady was like, I just saw him running. I didn't see him because, he's like, well, you didn't see him set him down? And she's like, no, I saw him jump and then run. And she goes, it did look weird, though, the way he jumped up and ran. And the mom looks at him like, yeah, okay, you're over here lying. She goes, wait till you get home and whoop your ass, And so he ends up just sitting there like next to the basket. His little brother climbs underneath it, and he's crying. And she's like, look what you did. You made your little brother cry. Your little brother's crying because you did this, blah, 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 It's all your fault. And he's like, yeah, it's always my fault. Every time he cries, it's my fault. Yeah, whatever. And so this thing, whatever it was watching him, kind of lurking around. He goes, and then when they get ready to get to the checkout, he's like, his little brother, so she would stop crying, because you know how your little brothers would cry, your mom would bribe them with goodies and video games, whatever. So she kind of bribes them, and they had those radio grills,
Oh yeah.
So he goes up, she gets him some popcorn to get him to stop his bullshit. And he goes, and he's over there eating popcorn. He goes, and I hope them Lions ain't winning, Bigfoot Rob. I hope my Texans are doing okay. I don't know what's going on with that, but they better not be. But anyways, so he's upset. He's like, my little brother's being a turd. He's eating popcorn. I wanted to smack him. I was so mad. He's like, and then my little brother didn't even come clean about what he saw. He just kept crying and wouldn't shut up. And then he got the popcorn, and then he stopped. And so she got in the little brother's face and was like, you want to lie too? And then he didn't say nothing. So kind of left him hanging. And so the way you worded it, though, he said, them Lions, I guess they're winning, I guess. So anyway, he said that his little brother was eating the popcorn. So he says, I go down under the basket, and I told him, I said, tell mama what you saw. And he goes, I didn't tell her nothing because she's mad. And so he just like let it ride. Right. And he was so pissed. He goes, I wanted to strangle his little ass. He's like, I just said, okay, whatever, man. He goes, I remember this vividly, is what he's telling me. He's like, I remember it like it was yesterday. And he said that we were getting ready to leave the store. He goes, and I look back and I see that fat clown looking at me like, and then it walked outside and was like, I'll get you. I'll remember you. You're a bad kid and I get bad kids. And then it went back inside. And he's like running away from it. And he's like, Mama, that clown. And she's like, stop talking about the clown. No, clown don't exist. Stop it. She's the only clown here is you and your brother. You're clowns. Stop being clowns before I slap you and make you become a clown. That kind of, how it goes. He said, years later, his mama, she got real sick and she had what they call sugar. Black people like call it sugar, diabetes. Yeah. And a couple of my friends are African American, and they say, I got the sugar, like when Bubba had it.
It's like a slang.
Yeah, slang for it's the sugar. You want to sit down? Come sit down. Come sit down. Can you just please sit down? Come on.
I won't switch the camera over.
Jeez.
I promise.
Why are you so, do you think, you look so pretty? I don't know
it's
why.
not about that.
Because Anthony needs to go eat and whatever.
Okay, good.
So my wife's here, but she thinks she looks terrible. I don't know why. Well, yeah, it does. You have no faith in how pretty you are.
Honey, that's not it. It's just I have phobias that I have phobias that they're gonna steal my soul.
Wow. Was that from the native in you? Yeah. So, anyways, I have no control to make the thing. You don't need the headphones.
So I can hear you?
You don't need the headphones.
I can hear better.
No, you can't. But anyway, so the guys are going to take a break. They haven't eaten today, and we've been on the go. We've just been going. And so this clown-like entity, whatever. So here's what happened. Years later, he goes to that Kmart. This is what he told me, right? And he says his girlfriend's mother worked there at that Radio Grill like for a little while, whatever. And it was back, like several years after that incident, whatever. Or I mean, before that incident, like before he was, So he was talking and they were telling ghost stories one year, and it was around Halloween. And he said, I had a crazy incident that happened to me and my brother at the Kmart right there on the 35. That Kmart's not there anymore on William Cannon 35. I shopped there when I was young. My dad took me in there. And I don't remember what we needed or whatever, but I'm sure it was a very boring and an interesting trip with him. But so he ended up telling his girlfriend's mother, he's like, yeah, I had a very creepy experience there. And she goes, after she told him about that, she goes, one of the ladies that I used to work with, she's like, talked about a very strange guy that used to work there. And so she goes, she was the manager there for several years, one of the managers. And she's like, I still talk to her to this day. This was several years ago, right, when she told him this. But she's like, I'll get in touch with her, and I'll talk to her and see if she, So they go to eat dinner. They went to eat out one night or whatever. They went to eat some Italian place. And he said that his would end up becoming his future mother-in-law. He's like, she's there at the dinner table, okay? And this is now his ex-wife's mother. He goes, I still get along with her, but I don't talk to my ex-wife. He goes, with me and her, we're still friends. So he says that she starts talking and she tells him, she's like, I did some looking into your clown. She's like, and I believe that it was a guy, not a woman. He thought it was a woman. And he said that it was not a woman, it was a guy. And he used to work there at the Kmart, but they fired him because he would dress up as a clown and he would do kids' birthdays and stuff like that. And he never got accused of doing anything too inappropriate, but he would get a little too touchy-feely with the children.
Ew.
And he did that at Kmart a couple times, and they complained about him.
What chipper?
And one time he ended up like spanking someone's kid, and that was the last straw. And so they never witnessed him dressed up as a clown, but he did, right? And he was known for wearing like women's clothing. Okay. So yeah, somebody says pervert clown. Yes, pretty much. Pervert clown guy worked there back in the whatever it was, And so here's the thing though, he passed away. And when she asked what year it was, he had a heart attack and he passed away, and they found him in his house, and apparently he had been dead for like a week or something like that. He was unalive for like a week. And it turns out that this guy had died several years prior to when him and his brother went in there. So
Interesting.
very creepy.
Very creepy.
So if you're listening and you're from Austin and you had a creepy clown thingy happen, hit me up, because I would like to hear more about this entity, because apparently whatever it is still haunting that, or it haunted that area after it had passed away. I say it because I don't know if it was a male or female. I don't.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I mean, it, like the clown, it. I don't know. Is that what they
Might
call
as
it?
well
It?
have been.
It's an it. I don't know. So, oh yeah, there you go. Jason Bland, good friend of the show. Don't forget, Paranormal Soup comes on after I do. He says, sadly, predators pick jobs and hobbies that get them close to kids. Yes, exactly. They do. They really do. And then everybody's like, oh, they just love to be coaches and whatever. I'm not saying everybody that's nice enough to go be a little league coach, because I had some great coaches when I was a kid. Taught me a lot of things, and they never did anything to me, male and females, and they were good people. But yeah, they do, though. Sometimes they will pick, and not too long ago in my hometown, the female softball coach, and one of my little cousins played on that team, and that horrible person, she took advantage of the girls. And so, yeah, does happen.
There's sickness in both genders.
Yeah, well, there's just sick people, period.
Yes.
But yeah, and I always thought the clowns were weird, because they it's like they're hiding themselves,
Yep.
the
second
behind a
face.
facade. I never liked clowns. I was at a birthday party
And
one
all the
time.
colors, so allure the children in.
Mm-hmm. I remember going to a birthday party, and the clown there was dressed weird. He just looked weird. And
Big shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
I've
just
heard
freaked
that
me
they
out.
wear big shoes. I'm just saying.
it's very weird.
It is. No, it is.
And then one time I was at a birthday party at McDonald's, and
Clownish.
a Ronald McDonald clown came out and was like, back then clowns could pick you up and put you on their lap, stuff like that. And he did. And I freaked out and like pushed his face. And I remember getting like a white paint on my hand. And my parents just, grabbed me and kind of chastised me. But I was like, dude, I don't like clowns. I don't want to be around them. I'm not like terrified of them. Like I have a phobia of them, but they are weird.
Yeah, them and scarecrows. Although scarecrows aren't usually at birthday parties.
Yeah, scarecrows aren't really something people dress up as at parties. Hey kids, I'm Scary Crow. What's going on? He just comes flopping around, gets straw in your food. You're like trying to eat pizza, like
Andreas, that movie was scary.
they're like leaning over you, and there's like, straw and dirt and stuff flying down on your food. That's not fun. There's a crow taking a crap over your straw. Like, dude, can you go somewhere else, with your weird self? That would be worse. I would say that would probably be worse.
I don't know. I'd rather be pooped on by a scarecrow than touched by a clown.
Do you remember? I don't know if you remember, because you weren't hosting with me, but you've listened. You don't listen to
As
all
long
the
as the
shows.
scarecrow isn't a person.
Yeah. But do you remember the episode where there was they were at a carnival, and I can't remember exactly who it was, what it was.
Go on.
Well, okay, they were at a carnival, and it was one we did on the show. Like it might have been on one of the hour-long shows, whatever. But somebody was dressed up at the carnival as a clown, but they looked like a werewolf underneath it.
Oh.
Like they had the face, and it looked like they were trying to cover their
Muzzle?
Yeah. I mean, it was a weird story. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. And okay, so we were talking about my home. What's going on?
I was just waving. I thought I was on camera.
You're not.
Oh.
You could be on camera, but you said you
It's
didn't want
fine.
to.
I don't care.
Well, put yourself on camera.
I don't know how to do it.
It's very simple. There's a button right there.
I might push the wrong one.
Hey, Anthony.
It's fine. You push it.
If I push it though, I don't. He has it set up. Put her on. Which button is it so she can click onto the camera?
And off.
Huh?
It's just gonna be real quick. So.
Real quick. Okay.
My second button right there. That switches.
Anthony
to
comes in eating quesadillas.
that one switches back, and the first one switches.
Like I
back
said, we're
to
not a
full.
professional show, folks. We don't.
Let's
do
see how bad this
professional
is.
shit here. We just.
It didn't switch to me.
Yeah, it did.
Did it? I can't see.
You only saw part of you because you were moved off of camera.
Oh, okay. Let me get over here.
There you go. So,
You can see my chicken.
so anyway, we were talking. Okay, do you remember we were talking about a police officer in my hometown that had told me and Jeff and Scorpion and another person? I think it was Snake Man. And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Actually, we were all there. We were and I just talked to him the other day, and we were talking about. We were at the barbecue cook-off several years ago. Actually, it's been over a decade, well over a decade now. And this is while that police officer was still alive.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And he was retired, but he had been drinking a little bit. He's passed away now, but he told us, about some of the accounts that he believed they were real. And we were talking. Do you remember what we were talking about? And about the hiking bike?
Yes, I vaguely.
Yeah. So, folks, we've been doing a lot of investigating in and around my hometown and all around the surrounding areas. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. We just got to get the equipment, and I already have the person ready to go.
We got to get the equipment and
get the
organized.
equipment, yeah. And funny enough, she actually lives in Arizona too, but she's going to send it to us forthwith.
So
Is
we
that
can.
how you word it?
I think.
So we're going to get the equipment, and we're going to be doing the investigations. Okay, and we have a lot of places we want to investigate in and around the. I wish I could click the camera over for you, but I can't.
It's okay.
Well, it's all right.
So we're going to be going out to places. That's fun. It's fun until noises start happening that shouldn't be there. And then you're like,
that's part of it.
I think I've made a ghastly mistake. My life is in
And then
danger.
at that point, then you realize you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's shuffle quickly back to the truck.
This thing is too crumbly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Try some water. It'll make it not crumbly.
This is getting old. Like I haven't eaten and I have to eat something.
Yeah, I haven't eaten either.
You didn't bring anything for yourself?
No, I was going to wait. I don't want
You're gonna be waiting because we got to record after this.
That's fine. I'll just die on the floor.
Well, let's hope not. But so we ended up going and doing a little investigating at the hike and bike. And there was a friend, her name's Monica. She used to date my friend when we were in high school. And years ago, she had told me a story, and I never got to tell the story, but I'm going to tell it now. And then when we go to the hike and bike and Taylor, we're going to do a little investigation and we'll show you. Well, what it had to do with that particular police officer is that he had told us that they had gotten so many complaints at the hike and bike that was one of the reasons why they put a curfew on there. I never understood why they closed it at 9 o'clock. I was like, what the hell? That's not even, people aren't even bedtime. When you go, it's like, why, So he said, he goes, we had so many weird complaints and stories. One of the stories, somebody said, let Nellie eat, Josh.
86.
Exactly.
He only
Like
feeds
when
himself
we were
and starves
at
his wife. That's next on the agenda.
we were at Whole Foods, and you were like, you never let me eat.
I know. I did it on purpose. This lady.
I know. The
standing-
lady looked at me like she wanted to kill me.
I was
This
trying
is
not to laugh.
Austin.
The way
There's a lot of
you
feminists
stopped
here.
and slowly turned to look back at me when I said I was trying so hard not to laugh.
It looked like Janine Garoppolo.
She looked like she wanted to hurt you. She just gave you a dirty look. Then you had to go back and tell her, I'm sorry.
You can tell that bitch I was sorry.
I thought you said you're like, I don't starve her because she was at the register.
No,
when
that's what
we
you
went down.
told you.
I don't remember. I just remember
You didn't
doing
care
that.
what that lady thought.
I just remember doing
I don't care what Janine Garoppolo was thinking.
that.
I thought, maybe you were, I don't know, losing your mind or something.
Thanks.
So, let Nellie eat, Josh. Man, here you go.
No, I don't want
It's
to.
pretty good.
It's okay. I'm good.
Take a bite.
No.
See,
Take a bite.
I don't want to eat right now.
It's actually really good. It's like a candy bar, but not sugary. Is it any good? I don't want any more.
That's fine.
exactly, Bill Hope. Proper grammar.
Just eat it because I'm done. I can't eat anymore on camera. People are like, look at this guy. Big Campbell Soup is good food head ass over here eating the delicious food and not giving his wife any. What is wrong with this guy? He looks like a giant Mr. Potato Head. So, anyways, the police officer tells us, hey, we had to shut the hiking bike down at one point. Well, in the book, if you go to Werewolves and the Dogman Phenomena, and you can go and get that book, Amazon, whatever. And that book has a story from my sister's ex-boyfriend, Gary Sanchez. That's his name. And I interviewed him for the book. And of course, he told me this story years ago. And he saw what looked like a small miniature Dogman looking creature. And so we're going to go there and we're going to show you on video where this happened. And I'm going to try and set it up to where I can interview him in person too. And see if I can get him to tell the story in person. That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because funny, Phil Balcar, who's in the show or in the book, I had to take a shower over at his house earlier because we're here in Austin. And
He's a nice guy. I like
he's
him.
a very nice guy. And so he gave us the use of his house. He's never there because he's staying at his fiance's. And so he lets us use his house. Nice dude. And there was a friend of ours that had a weird experience at the hiking bike. And so I talked to her. It's been a while since I talked to her, but she ended up moving away, going to the military and getting married and going on with her life. But when she was younger, she had a very bad childhood. We'll say just $5 a day will feed Nellie. Why don't you get it? Great, man. Yes, please, folks, give $5 and I'll feed her. Okay. She eats. Never mind. Doesn't matter. As you can see, my head is not getting bigger. My body is shrinking. Okay. So who needs the food? Still not me. I get it, right? Still not me. Okay. You're like, you're still fat. We thought we'd tell you, you're still fat. You've lost weight, but you're still fat. Another 50 pounds. You're still fat. How about another 50? See what we can get. See if we can get you down to a normal person's size. All right? And I don't have that big old Mr. Mackey head. Good, just a big head. But she had gone out of her parents' house because her stepdad was abusive and he drank and stuff like that. I only met the guy once and I was like, this dude's an ass, like it was horrible. And so me and her were good friends. She was friends with my friends and whatever. And she ended up going and laying down and going to sleep at the hiking bike, which she did regularly. Jeez, Susie, you don't have to. Yeah, thank you for the donations, but I'm not buying food with it for her. Okay. Put the camera on. You can see her laughing about it. You see her laughing? See that? This is the woman who's not starving, folks.
She's literally eating right now.
That's fine. Whatever. So here's the thing. You're laughing at this woman's pain. That's horrible.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
no.
Someone served our country in the Air Force, and you're going to laugh at her pain.
It's so wild that you would do that.
You're going to get a beating with a knuckle sandwich. You want to eat? Here's a knuckle sandwich. What is it? They have my breakfast. They have my breakfast. Riding around with a big bag of drugs looking for my wife because she's out there running around with biker gangs and other types of nefarious shit. So what ended up happening, she would regularly go out to the hiking bike and go to sleep. I didn't know this. This is what was sad. I didn't know this when we were young. We were teenagers. I had a bad childhood. So I was, I didn't know that she was going through all this. And years later, she tells me, that this had happened to her, that she would go out there and she would rather sleep outside in the woods than be around her abusive stepdad. And there was a lot of stuff that happened. So one time though, when she was out there, now we have a theory about this. Me and Anthony have talked about this because at one time there was a lot of satanic, it's like Satanism going on in my hometown, and it was satanic panic, whatever. And it was in the 80s and 90s. It was happening. And so, good grief, man. Okay,
Huh.
you can give. Thank you for the donations, but okay, the joke.
Thank
is
you. I'll be
joke
able
is
to
running.
eat tonight. Thank
You know what's funny? What's crazy to me is that you're just enforcing us to starve her more because you're giving us money for it. This is the wrong type of.
You're supporting something that's
Yeah.
very terrible. This isn't North Korea.
All right.
Okay. Poor lady. That's so sad. Are you talking about Nelly or the poor woman I'm
We
talking
don't
about?
even know
on the show?
anymore.
Good
They're,
grief,
they're
man.
so all over the place.
So, anyways, yeah, obviously. Okay, thank you, Spill and Tea. That's awesome. Keep it up. We're
Hey,
good.
Nelly.
Just keep doing it. I'm trying to be serious over here. Y'all over
Okay,
here
sorry.
laughing, making jokes. I'm like,
This is supposed to be the scary
Oh my
story.
gosh. I know. Okay. Take 2. Go ahead.
yeah, Jason, that's Nelly's cream corn, like Kenny from South Park. They give everybody gave him cream corn. So we ended up talking, and she said one time when I was there sleeping, and she'd sleep, this one little area where she would sleep, and she told me, I know exactly where she said, I'm going to take you there, and that's where my sister's ex-boyfriend Gary's situation started. Was right in that area right there. Something was hopping around. And it looked like it disappeared, and then it reappeared, and then it went into this culvert and came out the other side, and it was this dogman-looking creature. Once he saw it standing up completely, and this thing, was obviously some sort of monster-looking creature. But whatever this was that attacked Monica, okay, and I don't even. That's not even her full name, whatever her real name, whatever, because I don't want to put her out there, her business out there, and she asked me not to say, so I told her I wouldn't. Okay, but she's just somebody that we went to high school with. She had something grab her while she was laying on the ground, pin her down, and you know the story, Nelly.
Mm-hmm. Scary and
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Yeah. And she could smell its breath. Then it smelled like rot, like death, like something dead. And she said that she heard this guttural growling noise. Now, the interesting thing, too, she did not feel claws or anything like that. It just felt like hands, but not really fingers. It was just like pads on the hand. So there were no fingers. Okay. But something was pushing down on her arm, and then it put scars, marks on her, like finger marks or whatever on her.
Bruises.
Yeah, bruises on her. And she said that was the last time she slept in that spot. And then shortly after that, they made a rule back then that there was no more
Curfew.
it was a curfew. You couldn't be hanging out the hiking bike after, so the police were forced to walk around at the hike and bike and make sure after 9 o'clock that nobody was hanging out there. And there really wasn't anything going on. There wasn't a bunch of mischief and stuff going on other than people, they were reporting having weird things happen to them. So because of these reports, they were like, okay, we have way too much happening. Hey, buddy, what's going on, Banjo? And so you bathe that dog, dude. He's all grimy. I go down, I pet him, and I pull out a pinner. What's going on? I'm joking.
You know what? I
In
think
his
we
mouth.
left. I was looking for it earlier. I think we left the dog soap at the old house.
It might be packed up.
So that's a conversation for home, not now. And so what ended up happening with her, she had this after this thing did what it did. Now it didn't just grab her and do that. It did try to, how do you say it politely? It tried to force itself on her.
Mhm.
and she got loose, but it was she was like, I started praying. She's like, she's Catholic, she's like, I prayed the rosary and I asked for Christ to help me. She's like, and it got off of me. She's like, but then I felt like something was following me. What was that?
Scout startled me. Is
Jeez,
he okay?
What happened?
I think my ring.
It's that ring.
You heard him on camera. Look at this, folks. This is what happens.
The ring got him.
It wasn't recorded.
The ring looks like it's stuck on
Are
your
you
finger.
petting him with that thing? With
Yeah.
that barbed wire on your finger?
The big dragon head thing.
Who would have known that wouldn't have worked out all right?
Well, I wasn't petting him.
Poor
The top
Banjo.
side.
Are you
I
okay,
wasn't
Banjo?
scratching him with the top side of it. It was the bum that scratched
Somebody's
him.
gonna report us like the squirrel. What's it? The squirrel guy.
So,
Yeah.
God,
What's his
what a
name? Peanut.
hateful bitch that was. But so yeah, Peanut the squirrel, man.
Aw,
Poor
Peanut.
little guy. He didn't deserve that. So she said, she goes, after this happened, when she was running home, because she lived back up in there, she saw something moving around, like going from tree to tree, like a dark shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the day, when she would go out there, and sometimes she would go out there with her little sister, they started seeing this like black shape moving around out there. Here's something interesting. Now, if you didn't see, it was a few days ago, we did a 30-40 minute impromptu visit to the Austin State Hospital Cemetery, where there are unmarked graves of deceased people, right? Thank you for that donation, Lewis. Really appreciate it. We're begging, folks. We're suffering. Let's just be honest. We can't.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
We can't even feed Nelly. Okay. We need the blunderbuss to come and take out your homeboys.
In the arms of an angel.
In the arms of, was it stranger?
An
An
angel.
angel.
I'm joking. We're saying it's like creepy. It's arms of a stranger. You know who this person is. But let me read something to you that was sent to me. Now I didn't have a chance to really get and talk to this person and flesh this out, but they sent me a story. Okay, so here this man's name is Tavo. Okay, Olivares has sent me a message. You know what? I'm sorry, Tavo. I don't know if I have the permission to say your name. I don't know if that's your real name or whatever. And I apologize. Says fan of PRT, wanted to reach out. Now I thought this was interesting because something we just talked about, and like I haven't reached out to him. It says wanted to reach out. Caught your past live where you were at the unmarked cemetery. You mentioned the story of a hooded, cloaked, death type figure in a cemetery. Yes. And he says I experienced the same at a cemetery in Raymondville, Texas, which is down the border. Raymondville is known for the Raymondville horror. There's a creature running around down there, and there's another one that's a flying cryptid type creature. Suffice it to say, Raymondville sucks. It has a lot of creepy shit. So I'm not surprised that this happened to him. But it says here where I'm from, I don't know if you recall, but where you told what that figure did, the one I witnessed was at the entrance and glided off deeper into the cemetery after I stared at it for 30 seconds. Take care, Mr. Turner. Love the show. Thank you for being a listener, Tavo. Sorry if I said your name, wasn't supposed to, whatever. I just thought that was it. I just read that today. So that's why I was like, oh, that's interesting. We haven't had a chance to maybe talk to him and get more out of that story. But how many times do people see these things, right? So at the hike and bike, one of my friends that was there, his name is James, he saw something there, right? And we were kids one time, and I tell you what, we were walking through the hike and bike, and I've told you, probably said this on the show, we heard a cat speak like a person walking, our bikes, and this cat was up on the fence, and it sounded like it was saying, "Mama, where's my mama?" And we're like, what the freaking, it was the weirdest thing. So then I was talking to Jeff, Martin is a friend of mine, I can say his name, and y'all know Jeff. And we were telling him about it, and he claimed that something similar had happened to his brother. And so anyway, we're gonna tell that story when we do the investigation. I'll tell his brother's story, or maybe it was. I'm sorry, I think it was Jeff telling Daniel Henderson's brother's story. But anyway,
There's other stories of animals talking too, so you could do like a.
well, it's not about animals talking. I'm just saying the weirdness of
That area.
That area.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there have been dogmen seen at that area, especially over there where the bridge is at, where it goes into Murphy Pond. Or what are they calling it now? They're not calling it Murphy Pond anymore. It's called something else.
We just called it Murphy Park.
Murphy
Or
Park.
I think they're calling it like City Lake or something like that. Something ridiculous.
City Lake. You got swimming pools bigger than that, and you've seen in the apartment complex.
Yeah, you can walk across it, dude. It's like
City
It's the
Pond.
eighth great ocean.
I live near the City Lake. Yeah, okay. You could walk across it without even getting your feet wet. You jump.
Nelly would drown in it.
The disadvantages of being short. Thank you, Amber. Yeah, there was actually a mongoose. This is true. It's a true story. And his name was Jeff. And there was a lot of people who investigated this. And there was a stupid movie they made that was a dumb movie. Didn't do
yeah,
it.
kind of boring.
Very boring, just stupid. And, yeah, D says scummy puddle. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But there was a worker years ago, and it was over there behind Moe's Lounge where your grandma used to work. And he told my uncle that, my Uncle Frank, he told me that when I told him about what I saw that night, you know, when I first told him, and you know how Frank was, he's always cracking wise all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, talking about the werewolf or whatever. He goes, was his hair perfect? I'm like, I don't know, man. It was a horrific thing. And he's making a joke out of it. But he goes, well, on the serious side, he goes, there used to be a guy that worked for the city years ago. And he saw this wolf-like creature swimming across the lake when it was more full. And their theory was that there was some sort of like hole or something that came up from the well.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the runoff from it at one point. But they fixed it. They did something, and it just became like a leak that became like the pond or whatever. But it comes off. It's the runoff from the artesian well, I believe. At least it used to be. I don't know what it is now. I haven't really kept up with my hometown. But now that we're, around it, But this particular person saw this, and they thought, well, this guy, and his name was like Claudel or something, but he was drinking all the time. So my Uncle Frank was like, nobody believed him, But then later on, everybody's seeing these creatures and these things, and they're like, well, what the hell? Maybe there's something to it. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, R.I.P. Peanut and Fred. That's so sad, dude. And then the woman that did it, from what I've been hearing, it was politically motivated because she didn't like their politics.
And she was bragging about it.
And she was bragging about how she got them because they were, supporters of the orange guy or whatever. So she was, why does politics have to get into everything? It's like cranberries. Have you noticed that cranberries are in every freaking thing?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, I was eating some
Cran apple,
quinoa.
cran raisins, cran this, cran that.
They can't even
cranberries.
stop with the cranberries, man. I like cranberries as much as the next guy.
We all love it.
But why does it have to be in every damn thing I eat?
Mhm.
I was eating some quinoa the other day. You know what would make this better? Cranberries. No, it wouldn't. I'd like to
actually,
not
it might.
eat that.
Sounds good.
Well, I just ate it and it didn't help. Jeez. It's like that lady today that was speaking the weird languages and stuff. And I'm like, dude, what am I going to be subjected to this all the time? Anytime I need somebody to speak the languages that I understand, they don't do it. But, yeah, it just, I don't know. It's aggravating. Cranberry lobbyists. Well, somebody's working over. They're getting paid at the cranberry factory. Let me tell you.
Ocean Spray is lobbying overtime.
Let me tell you how it goes. Let me tell you how it's happening here. Here it is. Here's the skit right here. Thank you for this award. I can't believe it. I've always wanted the Tiny Hand Award for the most cranberries. Woo, that's awesome. Well, thank you, folks. I worked really hard. I force-fed my family cranberries for months. Little Timmy, obviously, he didn't make it. His kidneys failed from all the cranberries, but it was worth it to make the entire country be forced to eat these not so tasty red objects. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you for the award. the following month. Jim, you're doing a great job. Mint? No, I'm eating cranberries. Yes, I know. That's what we came to talk about. Now that the entire country is inundated with your bullshit, we want to push something else on them. What? Crickets. Can you force the entire country to eat crickets, maggots, and worms, mealworms in particular? Oh, I haven't thought about it, but I mean, well, we're just saying, because if not, your life depends on it. Well, sir, I gotta say, it was kind of hard to get them to eat this many cranberries. And in fact, I'm kind of sick of cranberries myself. I wouldn't say that out in public. Oh, Jim, you're breaking my heart here. You're breaking my balls. You're fired. Figure out a way to make a nutritious nut bar made of Rice Krispie treats, scrapings, cranberries, sawdust, and the crickets and mealworms that we discussed.
Gosh damn it! If we can take out avocados from these families, we can take and put some crickets in.
In other countries, you may have to substitute with midge flies. It works.
Ew, gross.
We almost took out the eggs.
Maggots too. We'll use those. Haven't you seen Lost Boys? They were eating it. Yeah. They were liking it. Get it done, Jim. So Jim is now moved from cranberries to forcing us to eat bugs. I mean, you know. Kate says, "What are we talking about?" I don't know, man. Kate, I have no idea. All I know is that somebody's working overtime. It's a damn conspiracy. The cranberries are in everything.
Talking about the future when everybody's eating bugs.
You haven't noticed that? I remember craisins.
Oh, I love craisins. Don't even make fun of those.
I'm not making fun of them. But let me tell you a weird story. This is paranormal. I go to my mechanic, right? And he has to, because the vehicle was a mess. I'm not going to lie. This is a true story. You remember Blaine, our old mechanic? Mm-hmm. He found craisins under my hood. Like, you know what I'm thinking? One of them goobers at the Quickens, what is it called? Where they
your transmission might
have
had
go and they put the oil change, lubin tube and lubin tube.
Quickie lube, I think.
Quick your ass, whatever.
Jiffy lube,
Jiffy, Skippy, whatever. They do whatever they do to your oil. They do it fast. One of them idiots was leaned over there with his ass crack hanging out, eating craisins over my. Oh, let's put some oil on this son of a bitch, you know, and they probably dropped them in there. I'm not joking. Like, what, you know, who knows what else he had in his grubby little nasty hands. You know what makes me really disgusted is that picture where they show the guy with the black hands, like, you know, like his hands are so dirty that it's black from the oil and dirt, and he's eating a sandwich. And you're like, F you, dude. All right, you're telling me that you don't have time to go. You can't go use some lava soap or some of that orange soap, whatever.
I have it at Phil's house. What is it called?
Yeah, it's called orange something.
Orange. Oh, or Agent Orange? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Agent Orange.
Jojo Orange.
Give me a break. You don't have a five seconds to go wash your filthy hands before you touch that sandwich.
Well, use some utensils.
You nasty bastard. You're the same one that picked his boogers and eats his boogers when you were a kid. You know, there's always one that was still in like 5th grade booger eating.
Gojo.
They were over there like, you know, doing, you know what they were doing. They were eating the boogers. Okay. Lava soap. There you go. You couldn't go use that. You couldn't take a minute to do that. You had to go and get motor oil over your bologna sandwich. You nasty shit. Dude, I hate that picture. Like, this is what America was made from. And the guy's like, You know why? Because that's Sling Blade. That's Sling Blade over there. He's like, eating bologna sandwich. And you know, you have poop all over your hands.
Well, you got good to eat.
Yeah, that ain't good to eating, but I'll just leave it on my hands because I ain't good for washing.
Yeah, got that bacon for sale on there.
I'm just sick and disgusted. Why? And why do we have to look at that picture like that's what America was made of? The founding fathers, they didn't bother to wash their hands?
And we wondered why they got black lung. That's how they ate.
Sorry for that. I didn't mean to go off on a
tangent, but we've been
anyway. I just think
you know what,
disgusting and gross. I mean,
I think PRT has been going on for so long. We've had so many tangents that it's part of the show now.
You can get the complaints.
Pretty righteous tangents.
Yeah, there you go.
No, dirt is not bad poetry, but it doesn't belong in your mouth.
So Jason says people eating at buffets. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a video. I'm going to go work on my car for an hour and a half, whatever, with black grime all over it. And I'm just going to go to the local buffet. Okay, they have throwing Stockade and Taylor. We'll go there. And Tony, you just man the camera, okay? And I'm just going to reach in and grab stuff off of the. Let's see how long it takes before they. And then I'm going to go. Well, that's what this country was founded on. Ah, damn it! Look at this meme. Look at this man's hands. Look at the white bread sandwich he's holding there, the pimento cheese or whatever it is. You're going to tell me that this grime and shit all over my hands is not. It's good enough for the people that founded this, that built the country, but I can't reach in and grab some okra and some salad and off of the bar.
Okra sounds good.
Well, you people are un-American. You're un-American because I can't just reach in and grab some cherry peppers. And
You Chinese people at this Chinese buffet are un-American.
They come to you, sir. Everyone throw up from hands, dirty. Oh God, why? Nasty American go. You eat for hour, dirty hand, no wash. Even we wash our ground beef.
Well, sir, it's
Did y'all
ground.
see that?
It's ground beef.
No, we posted it
Yeah.
with the
was
ground
so
beef.
funny.
The lady's like, my mother-in-law didn't wash the ground beef before she made. You cook it because the germs get cooked, lady. That's the other end of the spectrum.
It's like people who wash their chicken.
What are you gonna
Like,
do?
what are you
Let's
doing?
take a bath. The chicken's gone already. You know, let's put it in a little tuxedo after you bathe it. Right? Let's
Just
give it a
dip the
name.
chicken in pure oil.
No, it's one thing to cook or like wash
Terrible.
food beforehand, but like I've seen people who like add water to like meat while they're cooking it, like they're washing the meat or
Yeah,
grease
that's
off
so
of it.
freaking
That's what
weird,
weirds me
dude.
out.
Get out of here with that shit, man. So we got a choice to make, folks. So next story, we'll take a vote. Okay, poor little feller. God, poor little feller. He was just a sandwich. Man.
You get the boy.
He was just a sandwich. Just a bit of cheese.
Y'all got the biggest for hell in there.
Let's see. So I got a story. This is where since Jason's in the audience, I got one for you, Jason. I don't know if you, but this guy, okay, and this was weird. He gave us a story. All right, this was from Houston, but he worked at a Jack in the Box. Okay, and I think he said that it was off of Westheimer, but I can't be for sure. I don't remember the whole. Carlos's story, folks, is going to have to wait because let's put it this way. There's a lot in that story. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because what he has said is very, how do you say it? It's brutal. And it's got a lot of adult content. It's hard to I don't know how to talk about it without it. You'd have to censor a lot of stuff, and there's a hard.
Might have to
there's
be a
no-
Rumble show.
Yeah, you'd have to do it on a Rumble show. So anyway, this guy's manager at Jack in the Box told him that he was haunted, and not only was he haunted, but the people witnessed this spirit around this guy. And this guy told me, he's straight up, man. He told us, he says, dude, this is a true story. His name is Ali. But anyway, he told us this story. He says, look, he says, man, my manager at Taco Bell, at Jack in the Box was haunted, and the spirit would appear like a floating head. So I thought about you, Jason, when I was getting that particular story. We should tell that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly, Sugar Britches. Let's do that. People hit the like button, please. Give us some love here. Not very many people hitting the like button like they should be.
Every time you hit the like button, they feed me.
Yeah.
For only
Nelly gets one
400
cranberry.
like buttons a day, you too could feed a hungry middle-aged woman.
Nelly
A
gets one
full-grown
cranberry
adult.
for every like. That's all she
don't
gets.
think she deserves it, but that's whatever. I'm just look at Dee and Maddie laughing. Y'all stop. They're encouraging this bullshit.
Encouraging.
So, anyways, Thank you, Ryan Edwards. We appreciate you hitting the like button. Okay. So here's what happened. This guy, Ollie, and it's not he's nice kid, young guy, was when he was working there. And he said, look, man, he goes, my first experiences with the unknown. And his dad was from the Middle East. He was born over there. And his mother was from Asia. She was from East Asia. And they both worked for a large oil company. So he was, so he didn't have to work. But his parents, thank goodness, instilled in him a work ethic. So they told him, you're not getting anything from us. You need to work. And he says, so I got a job at a Jack in the Box. He goes, and I hated every minute of it. He goes, but it's not for the reason that you think. He goes, I wasn't a spoiled kid. Sure you weren't, right? Oh, I'm joking. Were or not. You say you weren't, I believe you. But he said, he's like, dude, I hated it because when my manager worked with me, and he's like, and I couldn't stand working with this guy. He goes, he was a nice guy. He goes, but there was something around him. And I'm not joking. He said it was like palpable, like you could, that's my words. He said you could feel it. You could feel it when he was around. It was just like something was there. And it made your skin crawl.
A heavy presence.
A heavy presence was there. And he goes, and it made your skin crawl. Right. And he said, dude, sometimes there were times, he's like, one night there was me and another girl that would work there. And he's like, and this guy, was the boss. He goes, and the girl that was working there, she was sick. So she called in. She didn't work there. So she didn't come in. This was back in like the 20 teens, like 2013, 2014, something like that. It was like 10 years ago. But he said, he goes, I liked the guy. He goes, so one day, he goes, he was always very sad and kind of, my words would be like forlorn, kind of whatever. And he said he would go out into the lobby and he'd be looking at his phone. Well, he had something very tragic that had happened. His wife was taking medication and she didn't, regulate it. She took too much and she didn't wake up. And so it was so the guy had a very, whatever. But shortly after that, he moved into a house with some other people, and that house was notorious for being haunted. And he started coming into work. This is what someone else had told Ali. And Ali said that the guy started coming into work. He was uncharacteristically late, looked like he hadn't slept. He had these bags under his eyes, disheveled. Yeah, and he was just like, I'm not sleeping good. I'm having problems. And he says, finally, he told one of the assistant managers, this other girl that worked there. And I think he said her name was like Tasha or something like that. But he told her that his wife was visiting him. Now, we were literally at Planet Fitness. Shout out to Stefan. This is a different Stefan, not the one that's our friend or whatever. But this guy, he's pretty cool. I mean, he works at I told him to give him a shout out over at the Planet Fitness in Round Rock on 79. That's where we worked out the other day. And he told me a story about seeing his grandfather like a couple days after he passed away. He goes, he lived up in the Northeast, and his grandfather like walked right across the room and scared the crap out of him. And he's like, and I look and I see he's plain as day. His grandfather walked by him, and it was they have basements up there. We don't have basements here, but they have basements. And so he looks and he sees it. And I told him, I said, be careful, because do you remember that she was a sweet old lady? She was an African-American lady. What was her name? She had the thing with the green eyes. She thought it was her ex-husband. And her niece kept telling her, no, that's not, because he didn't have green eyes. Right. Yeah. And so when these spirits mimic things, they'll appear like whatever the person that you miss, that you love, but that's not them. But
there'll be something off.
Yeah. There's always something a little bit off. Like it's noticeable. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's because they can't mimic us completely, not perfectly. And so, you know, I told her, I can't remember her name, dude. I can't remember. But anyway, she was on the show or whatever. We talked about it or whatever. I can't remember. She came on the show. We talked, whatever. But she was telling us about her auntie saying that. And I ended up talking to her aunt. Her aunt, I had to convince her. And I said, look, you need to pray on this, because I told her that's the best I could give her. I said, that is not your ex-husband, your deceased husband. And then that particular entity, if y'all remember that story, it began to become more aggressive with her. It started to be like oppressive and even grabbing her by the throat and then she figured out, hey, this is not, and so she rebuked it in the name of Jesus, and but that was a freaky story, but that's not, it's not unusual. Well, we get this pretty commonly, and I told Stefan at the gym, I said, look, you need to be very careful with that, because if you saw something like that, that's probably not your grandpa. It could be, but it could not be too. So you need to just, I would avoid, let's put it that way, just to be on the safe side, because so this guy that he worked with at the Jack in the Box, he ended up having this very sad, demeanor about him. So one day he goes, it was really slow and it was cold. It was wintertime. He goes, I worked there for 2 years in high school. And I worked the night shift. The last year I was there, I worked the night shift. I was on swing shift and I worked the night shift overnight, because he goes, my senior year in high school, I only had 2 classes. This is a smart kid. He's like me. I didn't have hardly anything left, because you get it all done. So anyway, he said, dude, I didn't go to school till like noon. So I was like, get off at 6. And so I was working the night shift with this dude, and he goes, and I went and I sat down with him and I started talking to him. And he told him, he said, Tasha told me that you have a very sad, past, whatever. And he goes, and I was a kid, I was young. He's like, and I didn't really know how to approach a conversation like that. He goes, I probably shouldn't have said what I said, but he goes, she told you that? And see, he was kind of upset about it. And he's like, well, yeah, he goes, you seem like a really nice person. I know. I want you to know that if you want to talk about it, you can. And he said, no, I'm good. He said, well, it wasn't until after we weren't working together anymore. And he ran into him at a Walmart. He was like out in the parking lot. He goes, I was with my mom, and she's like, my mom and dad had separated. He goes, and it was kind of embarrassing. My mom's like, ooh, is he single? And she was like, and he's like, Mom, that's my old manager at Jack in the Box, So she's just like, I'm just kidding, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, he ends up talking to this dude, and it turns out that guy's cousin went to school with him, with Ali. He didn't know that they were related. And it was a girl that he thought was attractive or whatever. And so they ended up going out. And he says, one day I was there in her house, and the former manager, whatever, came over. And he goes, and everybody was drinking and hanging out. We were playing, like beer pong or whatever it was. And this was a few years after he wasn't working there anymore. And he was already in his 20s or whatever. And he says, we started talking, and I asked him, I said, I want to be honest. He's like, I hated working with you because, I always felt like there was something following you. He goes, and I just blurted it out. He goes, we've been drinking, in Vina Veritas, and wine there's truth. And he said, my former manager, he tells him, he says, you're right. He says, I stayed in this house, this dilapidated house with these 3 other people. I rented a room. They told me that it was haunted. I didn't believe it. He's like, but my broken down state over my wife's death, he goes, I think brought something to me. He's like, and so he gave him a litany of things that had happened to him. And the story is too much. I can't get it. I wouldn't be able to tell it all now on here, but what we can do is we can talk about what he went through with this spirit, and we can put it on an hour-long podcast episode. And if those people want to find out what the hell we're talking about, they can go to YouTube. They can come and talk. You know, I'm going to do a very brief introduction and then talk about what he went through. But he said the guy gave him like a 2-hour conversation of stuff that happened, you know. And so he said that there was a sort of a respect that he gained for this guy, because after this dude had lost his wife, he went through this horrific haunting where this thing would play games and mimic his deceased wife. And then there was this like aspect to it that was really insidious, and it would be like a floating head, and sometimes it would just look like a demonic witch goblin face looking thing, and sometimes it looked like his wife.
It was messing with him on purpose.
It was messing. It was
Hurt him.
messing with his psyche. So what ended up happening with Ollie? He says, "Dude, I was working at the Jack in the Box one time, and I went to the freezer to get something." He goes, and you know how they say in hauntings, there's like cold spots. Mm-hmm. And you know, Nellie, we were talking about the other day when we were talking about a story that somebody had given us, and you were like, not every cold spot. You had said not every cold spot is a ghost.
Not every cold spot is an entity or a being. It's if you feel it, or you feel the energy in some place it's unbalanced, it's probably where the veil is thinner than everywhere else,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps.
And so this entity, whatever, he says, dude, he goes, I would go into the cooler to grab something to you know, whatever, to cook. And there would be like warm spots. He goes, and then you go into the area of the kitchen where it's hot and you're frying up egg rolls and, you know, whatever, tacos and fries, and you would feel a cold spot. And it was like he couldn't figure it out. And he said that there were times when he goes, I saw like something blurry standing behind my manager. And it was like something draining his energy. He goes, years and years later, I did all this research. I stayed friends with this guy. He was only, you know, a few years older than me. He's like, and we stayed friends. He goes, and I dated his cousin, you know, for a while. And then it's weird. He goes, because Houston's a big city, but he goes, we ran into each other. He said, so I think there was a reason for it. But the haunting, get this, switched over to him. And he started seeing things and having problems. And so they went down this whole road together. And his best friend, who ended up having a brother, or not a brother, a first cousin, who was like his brother. They were you know, roommates or whatever. Joined the Catholic Church and became a priest. And that person, he went from being like a person who was sort of wild, not, you know, whatever, and decided that he wanted to you know, join the priesthood. So that person became very involved in the Catholic Church, and he said that guy helped us to rid ourselves of this entity. What they believe it was a demonic presence that was living in that house that was attaching itself to people, and it would mimic things, you know, and it would do things so terrifying, and it would scream and wake people up. And I mean, there was some wacky stuff that went on. So we're going to get into that. We're going to do a show on that.
Joyce asked, can an entity jump from person to person that easily?
Oh yeah,
that easily.
Mm-hmm. Emphatically, I say yes to that.
That's why they say don't touch people, like don't shake hands.
Be very careful with that, okay? And in fact, I may have taken one that followed me from my old house over to Chief and Loki's house, because one night after I had stayed the night there, the stuff at my house was chilled out for a while, and it was happening over at their place. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't go, hey, come on, let's go over here. And then when I get there, see ya, sucker. and then run to my truck and take off. And then it's they're going like, well, I'm just going to make trouble here. Nah, didn't happen like that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
It was that doll,
The
Chinky doll.
the
Not
yeah,
Chinky
the
doll.
Chinky doll.
How do you say it?
Chino
doll.
Yeah. Chief used to collect those, and they started falling off the shelf and moving around by themselves. Really weird stuff, man. And Diablo says Denzel had that happen. Yeah, there's a movie about that called Fallen or something like that, isn't it? What's it called?
I don't think I've seen it.
Which with Denzel Washington. But Denzel Washington's like, look, you better get off me, I'll whoop your ass. And then it just stopped. Just left him alone. He beat it up like Training Day.
George Burnett. says-
Kachina dolls.
Yeah,
That's what they're
there
called.
is.
Tina, though.
I knew it was had an Ina in there
These
somewhere.
things are so weird looking.
There.
Kinky dog. 86, come on now. Ain't nobody said kinky dog. If you're hearing kinky dog, you got some kinky problems, all right? No. Yeah, exactly. I pawned it off with my friends.
Bill Hope.
I got rid of that.
You saw some people bring a bottle of wine for a housewarming. Wolf brings a ghost.
I show up and I'm like, look, his name is Fred, okay? Because people with schizophrenia and oftentimes names, like the first name they'll throw out there is Fred. Had an ex-girlfriend do that. She started calling me Fred. I'm like, what in the hell is she talking? And years later, I find out that that's one of the names they use.
Gil Sanchez. Same with items. There can be spirits attached to everything. Everyday items.
Everyday things.
I got to put my glasses on.
You should do that. If you keep not wearing them, you'll eventually get to where you can click over the camera.
Why?
Can you see? Okay, click back. That's cool. We won't give you too much airtime.
You just don't want to show people how
I don't want people.
skinny I'm getting. No, I'm kidding.
I don't want people getting too attached to her and going over there and watching random files. I'm very jealous. I need to be.
Yeah. It needs to be the center of
I
attention.
gotta be center of attention. I gotta be top dog. Number one, alpha. The real
Real good,
deal.
kid. Real good. As long as I'm around, you'll always be second best. Hey?
See? That's how it goes. I am Khabib. I fight in Khabib land. I fight and every time win, always choke and beat Connor. Number one, me. I am.
And smash his fish.
I smash his face and then we smash some more.
Wolf number one.
And everybody who joined from me come from Khabib land and always root for me because we are all from Khabib land. Like, have you ever noticed? Like, I was trolling the other day, and you're going like, "No way, Wolf does that." No, I don't usually, but yes, on the fight game, yeah, I do. So all these people were just talking trash about how Nate Diaz says he's just like, I don't like Khabib. I don't like watching him. He's boring. I don't want to watch a hug man. I mean, who does? Who does? And so then all these people with their names of Mev and Kev and Ruden whatever and all, you can tell the people, they're all those fanatics over there. And they were like, yeah, you know, make good fight. He tough. He beat you. No good. Not champion ever. You. And then you could just tell. So I just went around trolling all of them. And I said, me, you, we fight over camel, make goat, and have fun, kill. And then they would argue with me. And they're also messed up languages of English.
1,000 curses on you and your camel.
You don't come here. You make fight. I choke. You beat wife. Don't do donkey. And you're like, oh.
Not English.
Now you're getting my donkey involved. All right, now we got a problem. My donkey don't like being made fun of. So, yeah, it was so ridiculous. And I argued with these people for like half an hour, and it was good fun. And then they all threatened to blow me up. And I blow you hard. I blow you big time. I blow you all over the place. Blow. I just blow.
You explode. Explode everywhere. Explode all over me.
I blow you to you explosion. You blow everywhere. I blow. You know, I blow whole family. Everybody blow. I was like, geez, these people are blowing. They're blowing some stuff up. I better stop before I get choked and then blowed. You know?
Oh no.
When there were some women that started doing all that and saying, then I chilled out. I was like, oh, okay, well, y'all. I mean, bombs aren't that bad. You know? You look pretty good. I mean, I'm
Well,
just
maybe
saying.
just a little bit of bombing.
Just a little bombs here
Not
and
that.
there.
I mean-
And I'm like, no, Nelly, I didn't. I resisted. I said, stop it. Stop it. I am married and I can't see through your trash bag anyway. So stop it.
Back, foul wench.
Get back, foul winch. Yes.
The demon stop me.
I was like, I blow you back. We blow. Everybody
Anthony.
blow.
Grammy, get away,
I'm over here like
Grammy.
defending Conor McGregor. I don't even care about that little leprechaun, Irish leprechaun. I'm just saying, I was aggravated with the whole Megadeth and aggressive crowd. You know, I was like, dude, give me a break. Sick of these people, man. We love him because he's Islamic. You don't like him because he's a fighter? Yes, that too. But because he's yeah, that's why we like him. You know, what the fuck? When I go to his vehicle and see what I got him love coming back. And I had one of them threatening me on there. I come, I choke, I beat, I blow. I'm like, he didn't do that, but you know, that's his falafel. He's eating it. He's eating his falafel. And I'm like, you come, you blow, you choke, you beat, you slap me, wife, go,
I
camel.
stick fist in your anus. And
I'm
you
like, dude.
stick fist in my anus.
You know, all I
Okay,
can think
Anthony,
of
let's
is
not be
like,
graphic
you remember on all I could think of was on Borat. And he's like, when they told him, they're like, yes, these people are homosexual. And he's like, you mean the man who put rubber fist in my anus was homosexual? He's like, he's all shocked and distraught, you know. It was okay until you found out he was actually homosexual. Until then, it was just all good fun. We just were out there just slapping each other around with
See,
meat helmets.
You got to say no homo after doing
Yeah,
that.
and he's like, yo, camel fist, no homo. I blow, no homo.
I thought we were hanging out with the bros.
I choke with belt, no homo. No, I love Habib, but no homo. Shut up, man. Shut the fucking ass. Because you're not going to choke me, and you're not going to do anything but bleed, okay? So stop, all right? It's not going to happen. Calm down, okay? You're not going to blow. Blow, all right? Idiots. Trump, president. Okay, stop. Put down gun. Playtime over. No more play. Quit. Stop with the blow. We wait 4 years. We'll be back. We'll be back. Make America blow again. Bitch, mother bitch you. I hate you. Orange Cheeto man. This bullshit. We had happy gay time and now you do this shit. No more fun with boys. Nah.
So
And I hope they all try to come fight me too. All right.
I forgot who it's.
Boring with the gout.
I forgot who it was, but someone said, "Oh yes, the phlegm language."
Ridiculous with their bullshit.
Whole language sounds like Panzer with the furball.
I'm excited. I'm going to make fun of other people too. Don't worry. They'll get theirs. You know.
The mermaid song? Or the
People are like, oh, that's exactly right. Right, sister wife? We hate those people. They're different than us. Yes. You have their
They do be blowing.
three-eyed kid comes in the room. That, Dad. Look, son, nephew, get out of here. You're like, is that a cockroach back there? I start talking like it. You know, I'm not trying to be ugly, rude, or mean, whatever, but I'm just being rude.
But it's funny.
I'm just being rude and mean. I'm not ugly. I'm just saying.
But it's funny.
Well, I mean, it is the truth. I mean, we're supposed to sit up here and pretend, like, oh, vibrant culture. Yet you're always blowing. Are you those dreamers we've been hearing about? Are you going to come here and blow? Is that what Eminem was talking about? Don't miss your chance to blow. Everybody, Do
not miss your chance.
Little baby snuggles. Pull the string. Allah Akbar. Die. That's for all of you. You die. Everybody die. You hell and die. Good. Fine. We're done. You're not the only ones blowing. We look at North Korea. Oh my God! Make a missile fly to Japan. I could kill. Oh,
You gotta do the face more.
everybody go! You fight Russia. We make money. $10 an hour. Like, what the fuck? Why are they in Russia? And the Brits over there like, hey, we've over there too. We've put all of our troops there. The last 10 English people that live in England, they are now there fighting. The caliphate that's in control over there. Yes, send the last 10 British people there. With a big towel, whatever the shit. How do you? I guess it'd be like this. Gotta be more offensive with it.
Oh no, this might be.
You send the last of 10 British to Ukraine to fight. You kill, and all we blow. You die. They're like, oh no. Oh, goodness gracious, get the bobbies. Let's beat our citizens to please them. We don't want to offend them.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
we're laws.
Goodness gracious me.
They're in charge. Let's go eat a kebab. Taking up the bum.
This is payback for British imperialism. We deserve it.
Yeah, we deserve this, like C-3PO. Shut the fuck. What do you mean you deserve? Dude, I will beat your ass into normalcy. All right? You see the hand? I will slap your face until it does the like the 360. And then the camps, they're going to come. And we're all going to wear red bonnets. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that's going to look like something else too. Let's see. How would this be?
Here's the red hat.
Yeah, you gotta have this underneath it. Click the camera on y'all real quick. I'm gonna show you what this is gonna look like in the internment camps, guys. Where are the little hands? I'm so scared. Here we go. All right, go ahead. I'm scared right now. Oh no! They're coming for my womanhood! Naked people everywhere! Ah! What are you doing? Go back to your quarters, wench! No! Please don't hurt me! I've been used for breeding purposes because I voted for Hamilton! They're like, that's right! This is MAGA country! Get back into this table! I beat you with... What is this shit?
Back into your closets.
People living in another, like a blown off alternate reality of shit, man. I go into the store. This is true. I walked into a store, and there's a guy behind the counter. I can tell he's Nepalese, and he doesn't give two shits about what you're doing. First, most of those people are business people. They voted for the orange guy, right? And there's this guy go over there. I know it's gonna be bad for y'all. You're gonna have to probably go to. Well, there's no telling when they're gonna come, but the Agenda 25 is coming, and y'all are all in trouble. You're just gonna. And the guy's like, "Yeah, it's $1.50 for the soda. $1.50. I just hope that y'all take care now." And he goes, "Okay, go. Okay, yes, thank you. Lottery ticket. Go bye." This dude rolled his eye. He could not be more uninterested in what you had to say. I stood there and I just laughed, and he goes, "Just people." He's doing this to the guy, and the guy's out there going like, "Oh my, I better calm everybody and say goodbye. This is it, kids. I'm done. White man that voted for Hamilton, help me." Dude, shut the. What in the hell are you talking about? I walked by him like, what is wrong with your brain? This is your brain on left. They're stupid, and they're just. But then there's things that the right does too that just, make it worse. Bunch of damn poetry, like shut up, okay? There's enough of this shit, all right? You wanted the I voted for the economy. That's it. You don't have to. I don't care about any of that other crap. I'd like to not stand in the bread line. Is that a sin? You know, I hear the communism's great. You know, I'll take your word for it. Okay, the last 2 people who didn't starve in the gulags, they crawled out. They're like communism, and they're like behind them with the gun. It's wonderful. Help! Yeah, exactly.
The wall from Polar Opposites or whatever. Solar Opposites.
What?
The wall.
The people living in the wall. Solar opposites. Anyways, folks, sorry about that. You know, yeah, Gil, you're right. Anyway, I shouldn't have gone off on that tangent. I mean, they're already suppressing my videos to the point where, you know, we're getting like 400 subscribers a month or something.
Almost to oblivion.
They've blasted us into oblivion. What else is there?
Plaid.
Exactly. They definitely did a good job of the. So anyway, Philip Barnes says he's going to be at the fight on Friday. Wow, you're going to be at the fight. Who do you got, guys? Tell me who you got. You got Tyson taking out the little punk. Like, I can't believe this guy, 60 years old. This man's going to fight a 6-year-old guy. What in the hell?
Tyson's
Jake
gonna ruin his
Paul is
career.
the biggest punk on the planet, dude. I hope he literally, his head goes flying into the crowd. I'm not even joking. I mean, it's
Everybody's rooting for Tyson. Good.
good because I don't. And there's some people that are making it like racial, you know, like, I'm going for Tyson because he's black. And there's white people, well, I'm going for Jake Paul. I go, why are you going for Jake Paul? I mean, you know, I don't care about the race thing. I just look at Jake Paul as a punk. He's an absolute punk. And him and his brother poisoned everybody with their nasty drink, Prime, with forever chemicals in it.
Oh, great.
They should make them take it as an enema.
I saw some like body wash that he came out with now when I was,
God,
I was
for
like,
what?
dude,
So we could get more BPAs in us?
you put his face on anything.
Well, since they're forever chemicals, we're part of the product.
And
So
they always have that
we
sleepy.
should get some of the money from it, right?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
They always have that sleepy-eyed look.
Mhm.
Yeah, me and my brother made a body wash. Put it on your balls and your butthole. Rub it up in all your
Touche.
orifices. Eat some of it, you know, so you get those chemicals in your body. You know, so you can be dead in 5 years. How about not? How about we don't do that? And how about you both go stand in front of a train? See if you can punch it out. Dickheads. Prime is disgusting. You're exactly right. There it is. So anyways, folks, we're going to do some stuff. We're going to talk. We're going to get into the guy's story about the head, whatever, floating head. We are going to be doing some investigations. We're going out into the field to do some investigations. But like I said, we need the equipment. And as soon as we are able to use money again.
Thank you, Curtis.
Money becomes, but thank you, Curtis.
He was talking to me, not you. Just kidding.
Okay. Whatever. I don't, you know. I mean, and here's my thing. If I offended you and if I took it too far with the Khabib fans and all that, and I took it too far with the Jake Paul thing, and I took it too far with the election, whatever. I want to take this time right now to absolutely not apologize to anybody for anything I said, and even take it a step further. If you don't like it, get the F off of my channel. Don't watch.
It wasn't about you, so don't worry.
Don't watch. Look away. Look away.
Overbill, thank you.
Okay. Go away. Don't watch. Look away, Dixieland. Wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. In Dixieland, I'll make my stand up. Live and die in Dixie. Hooray, hooray.
Did you see
Way down south in Dixie. Mm-mm-mm. Don't care. Somebody messaged me the other day, and the guy goes, "Don't you ever get tired of being an asshole?" And I was like, oh, don't you ever get tired of being wrong? He's wrong. You know you're wrong. You know you're wrong. That's all it is. You're mad.
Don't get mad.
Don't cry.
Josh eating cranberries again.
We have so many enemies that have just been absolutely crushed and ground under our feet. I was thinking about them today. So what I'm going to do, and I promise you, this is the absolute truth. Look, if Cranberries and Jake Paul and his sick brother can get into everything, I'm going to get into everything. We're going to get bigger, folks. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to make a comic book, and I'm going to lampoon and spoof all of these crazy people who started shit with us. The psychiatrist, therapist, whatever she is, we're going to make her into a character. The cosplaying madman from the LBL, the Voodoo King, the Vulture, all of them. Every one of them is going to be
BTA is now B Diddy, the LBL freak-offs.
You know, Lying Larry, the roofer, the madman roofer. How do these conversations even? I don't even, you know, he calls people. Hey, let me talk about my Lord and Savior. I hate Jesus, Josh Turner. That's him. He hates Jesus. He hates the baby Jesus. He hates the regular Jesus. He hates the return Jesus, all the apostles and all of them, and he hates everybody. Let me talk about my Lord and Savior. How much I hate Josh Turner, who hates Jesus. And everybody's like, I haven't heard him say anything like that. I did. I hear it all the time in my head. Let me tell you about it. Let me holler at you. Let me holler. Let me holler at you. Let me holler. And they're on the phone and they're just like, what in the hell? Let me show you a picture of my face.
Just waiting for him to stop talking while they're sitting there all uncomfortable but trying to be nice.
Unbelievable.
That describes like every conversation you've ever had with a guy.
It's crazy. See, and there's a picture of me. You know? Just in case you want to say, oh, he's not muscular, he's fat. No, I'm not, and I'll beat you up. How about that? We'll show you a picture. I got a picture of him, his latest. So if you see this guy, you'll know exactly who to look out for. You gotta be careful. Don't be taken in by the frauds. There he is, right there, folks. Hey, let me tell you about my Lord and Savior, Josh Turner, that hates Jesus. Let me tell you about him. Have you heard about him? Let me holler at you. Let me holler. And they're mad. So mad. They're mad. The anger is delicious to them. Let's hope that they all incorrectly fry turkeys for Thanksgiving. Don't follow those directions. Those are for suckers. Those are for PRT people.
Supposed to take
Do your own thing.
You're supposed to take the frozen turkey and just dump it in
Dump
the
it
boiling
right in
grease.
that boiling. Get it in there.
Read Gil Sanchez.
What kills members of the hillbilly? That's confused. Oh. Let me see. Put the camera on for a minute. I gotta see.
Put the camera on.
Let me get these. If I had a better Joseph Stalin mustache, better. Let me see here. I don't know what hat to wear. I guess I'll just use this one. All right, guys. All you gods out there, I found Daymare. He was out there slaying Dogman on its own. I left it out there in the LBL. Okay. Love blowing Larry. LBL. All right. And I took Daymare. I said, Daymare, how many Dogmans did you kill? He killed 300 of them. My friend Roger, he wouldn't lie. He told me. He said, he called up, he said, well, golly gee, well, hell, you know, goodness gracious, golly gee, me, Willikers. Well, my Amish friends will tell you, well, you know, I was hiding under the RV. Yeah, and I saw Daymare there.
Oh,
Go to the test site where a little girl was thrown and blah, 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 blah. Oh, is that where it was at? Oh my God. Let me go find it. Come on now. Let's go. So I rounded up the kids and I moved to Beverly. That's what happened. There it is. Now you know. Daymare has returned, folks. Daymare has returned. I can't even do the beady eyes like this stupid shit that he does. Anyways, folks, I'm just playing. I'm just funning. I'm just playing.
We just fooling and
We're
such.
just fooling around and such.
Roger Rabbit on Matt.
Did I tell you the story of my life? You know, Josh Turner's gay and he hangs out at the Iron Bull. Let me make up some bullshit. Yeah. How can you listen to that guy? I'd rather eat
He's already been found out.
sawdust.
Well, buy my RV and my red car.
I'd rather eat sawdust mixed with staples inside of blood pudding than listen to him.
The Timu Winchesters of the OBL.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable, dude. And then there's people giving them money too. Like, what are you doing? Why? It's just simple math. I mean, you're promoting something that it has the retardation. What do you think these people are going to do? Do you realize you're promoting mental illness?
Jordan, he got the picture from BTA and started that rumor about the Iron Bear.
Yeah, I know he did.
They were asking the question.
We left them alone forever and they just couldn't stop. They just keep on going. What's funny, though, is that they have nothing to offer.
They took that picture when they were here.
Yeah, they did. They have nothing to offer anybody.
When we were driving by. So let me just clarify.
I don't even remember.
I do. Because they made a big deal
Thank you,
of
Ron
seeing
Voice, for that update.
Because they were remember the guy dressed as a woman came out and they were like, oh, they never seen
I don't
that before.
remember. I was in the front with Barton and you were in the back.
Oh, yeah, 'cause she was
so
taking
she's the one that was taking it.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to her. Very annoying individual. Tried not to. And then between the arguing and bickering, whatever. I mean, you know, I'm just going to say this. They're not going to stop anyways. What does it matter if I say something or not? Doesn't matter. They're
It
going to
don't
be
matter.
as stupid as they have always been. They're not going to. They're happy though that you even gave them any attention.
Elastic machinery.
Yeah, talking to himself, talking to myself. Everybody's looking at me. I'm only retarded. So, yeah, those people stalk you guys more than they're mental. They're completely mental. My fans don't stalk me. They do. You know, that's what's crazy. I mean, we have fans and then we have them. What the hell's wrong with you? And go after people who are actually trying to get to the bottom of it.
Maddie.
Doing something real. So anyways, we're going to get let's do the giveaways. We got to do it before everybody bails. We got 500 people in here. Let's do the giveaways. Sorry, folks. I just had to vent a little bit. It's just been a long, hard, pissy week. It just sucks. But we're gonna do this. And when you win, what you got to do is send us your address and your shirt size. And I can't tell you exactly when we're going to be able to use money. Okay. Hopefully sometime by the end of this week we can do this.
So we barter some of these hats.
Go give them our props. Go to the guy from Postal Annex. Now look, I know you've done a lot for us. We need to mail all this shit off and we're not going to pay for it. How about
Here's
that?
this beautiful bluish blue
Wrapping paper. And we're going to tell you, we're going to give you some props, sir. Okay.
Literally.
I used that sword on the show many times. It's worth a good $60. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you're in green, you're eligible to win. Try to use people who haven't won, but we've had the same people win because sometimes we don't have new subscribers. So if you're a member of a gifted, a Paranormal Roundtable membership's like $5, then you'll be in green and you'll be entered to win the giveaway for the shirts we've been giving away. And we got hats too. We just haven't picked them up because there's no point. We can't send them off yet because we can't use our money.
Kyle says we could barter cranberries.
If we had some craisins that some idiot left all over my engine that melted, dickhead. I wish I knew who that was.
The
He's
crazy
like,
man.
Blaine, you got craisins.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even eat craisins. Where the hell are they coming from?
Well, obviously you're not eating them. They're in the engine.
Well, they were inside the hood or whatever. All right, guys. So who do we have here?
We have M Cascone, I guess is how you say his name. Her name, I don't know. It says I've never won.
I've never won. Well, you just won. Next person.
Send your information to the email address scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
It's a great way to help the show too. And remember, if you join the Patreon, there's a $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 tier. Okay. And if you join the Patreon, you can help not only support the show immensely, but you'll get swag bags, one every 6 months.
And I'll get to eat.
Not much. We're not going to give you much.
Once every 6
We're giving
months.
crazy.
You heard it there.
You like you're crazy about crazies, you get them. And then we will be doing a Thursday show where we're going to talk, and it's just going to be the people from the Patreon. So join the Patreon. It's a good way to get the inside scoop on a lot of the stuff that's PRT.
Tennessee Ridge Runner said he's never won either.
Ridge Runner, you've never won? Okay, then you win. Send us your information.
How many are we doing?
We'll do 3.
Because Paula King says she's never won.
Paula King wins too then.
Those
There
are
you
the
go.
first 3 to speak up.
First 3 to speak up. You got it. You did it.
So make sure you send your shirt sizes and your email addresses and your mailing addresses to the email addresses scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, Jordan. He hit the nail on the head. Buy our merch. And we'll let you have one whole cracker.
Saltine cracker.
One
Be like a
whole
big fat
cracker.
You have one cracker. I gotta eat. I eat my crackers. What the hell you think you are? Just always eating. I don't turn around. You're eating my saltines.
God damn, you're a fat son of a bitch.
What a pickler. That makes it Batman.
Yes, you do, Ron.
Get the butter.
You and that other moron named Ron.
Congratulations to the winners.
Most of these people are full of shit, man. I have seen that. They really are in this community.
They are.
Frauds, hoaxers, liars of every stripe. The absolute worst of the worst.
Yes.
Come look at my channel where I got some horse shit behind me and some more horse shit coming out my mouth and out my ears. Unbelievable. And you people buy it and eat it and blow it up. Ooh.
Congratulations, Louis G. His daughter, remember we were live? He was in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See? Says my daughter ended up being born a couple of hours after you guys live the other night. She's beautiful. I'm sure she is. Congratulations to you and
Forgive
your
me,
wife.
Louis, for all the potty mouth talk. I'm
That's
sorry. I was
awesome.
doing adult hour here. Let's get back to the children. Sorry about that. Child was
Say
born.
nice things.
The child was born. Thank you. In the name of Christ, thank you. And
Yes.
I need forgiveness for the bad things I just said because I shouldn't be talking like that.
Thank you for sharing that with us. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, Louis. I just get
Congratulations.
mad. I just get aggravated. I get aggravated with these lying fools.
Nelly won a cranberry. She deserves this. Crackers, how dare you demote her prizes?
I didn't demote it, Curtis. This is the way it is. Craisins aren't cheap. Not in this economy. Just saying.
You ain't made of money. I can't build you a candy house. The sun will melt it.
What about Marjorie? Walk hard. Dewey.
Oh, I love that movie.
That show is it. What do you more didgeridoo?
Make craisins great again.
I'm pretty sure they already did. Is that Maddie?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they already did, kid. All right. The craisins
Good
are coming out
idea.
of my ears. In fact, I went to sleep and I had something in my ear and I was like, oh, what in the hell? What is it? And a craisin fell out. Crazy cranberries. It's just everywhere. The cranberry guy needs to get a promotion. I'm just saying. Whoever did this.
He's putting them everywhere.
He's got cranberries and everything. In fact, I ate an apple the other day. Didn't have seeds. It had craisins in the middle of it. Ridiculous. Look at this salad. You can't even eat a salad without them being in there. Oh, we put some cranberries in there. Your kidneys might need some help. My kidneys said, F you. Can you stop?
Maddie, you don't like cranberries or raisins? That's awful.
That's why you're so small.
I'll eat them, but dude, I'm getting a little tired of them, dude.
She is a craisin.
I'm starting to sound a little crazy.
Maddie's a raisin. Here's Maddie.
Invest in cranberries.
I got an action figure of Maddie. There's Maddie right there. Yep. Just an olive on a toothpick. We know you love you, Maddie. Okay, all right. Just accept your place.
That's actually just her hair. It's not even her head.
Her head's poor kid, just 90% hair, and she's so she's like this wide. I am not joking. And so we were making fun of Tony, and I don't remember who came up with it, but we were like, he's got Maddie arm syndrome because her arms.
Mlaws.
Yeah, no, Maddie leg syndrome. Malls, yeah.
Mlaws.
Mlaws, whatever. Maddie leg onset Maddie leg syndrome. And I was like, dude, your arms are as skinny as Maddie's legs. But then I don't know, her arms are a little bigger. So you got bigger arms, Maddie. You need to work on your legs because your two legs together equal like one skinny arm.
Maddie leg arm syndrome. That's what it was.
She's like, it was leg. Yes, exactly. That's why we brought you down here so we could get you to work out and eat healthy and maybe, for the price of a saltine, you and Nelly could eat.
Maddie, you got your own disease
and
wrong.
Get your arms and legs in shape. Okay. We're gonna get y'all. We're gonna get you a personal trainer. Let's get him. What's his name? Mr. Universe. What's his name? Brown.
Oh, Ed Brown.
Mr. Whatever he is. Ed Brown, the champion. Whatever. He works out at our gym. We get him. Ed helped Tony, but then Tony didn't go anymore. Tony got scared. He goes, "My arms are getting bigger. What am I going to? Are they going to explode?" And he's like, no, you're fine. And he came to me and he's like, look, I'm trying to train your godson, but he's got, he doesn't have big erexia. He has skinny erexia, skinorexia. He doesn't want the fear of getting bigger.
Skinorexia.
You watched one video about Greg Valentino.
With no
I think his
arm
arms are going to explode.
Dude's arms from the synthol.
Yeah.
Shit, oh, anyways, folks, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. We didn't just cut up and crack wise. We did that for about half an hour. But, you got your stories. Think about it. Weird stuff, right? And if you're like me and you grew up with your mom whipping your ass and hiding inside of the clothes racks, now imagine if a clown opened it up and did that. And also thank Jermaine for going to jail in Mexico and being able to tell us what happened. I'm joking. I'm not glad that you went. I'm just saying.
Oh, they're getting the disease name wrong. It's Mlaws, M-L-A-S.
Laws. There you go.
Maddie leg arm syndrome. But thank you for the fun.
Nevaeh's angel. She's defending her.
Thank
She's
you,
over
Amy.
here. Maddie is a beauty.
That will go a long way.
Maddie is a beauty, but she needs help with her legs. We're gonna get some synthol for her legs. You have like those bigger legs, like what was his name? What's his name? The guy?
Greg Valentino.
Greg Valentino. She's gonna be walking like this. You can hear it sloshing around.
No.
No, Maddie, and then we took her out to eat the other day. She goes,
Is that Helene? No, it's Maddie.
And then she doesn't even eat. She just picks at it. Like, what are you doing?
I think
You know?
I saw her like flinging the food off the plate to try and make it look like she was eating.
Yeah, she was throwing the fajitas back into the grill.
It's just like,
And we're like, what are you doing? She's like,
pretending to eat.
nothing. I'm eating. Pantomiming eating. Like, come on, dude. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just, you're a Pleiadian, one of the talls,
oh, she's making excuses. I had eaten beforehand.
talls, but then she's a baby one. You know how they're real tall and skinny? the tall grays or whatever. That's her, but she's one of the little short one, little skinny one, the babies. Cranberry soup. Oh, come on, Alan. Are you gonna do me like that?
Hey, that might be good.
Oh God, Nelly. And then you eat those ones from Buc-ee's.
What are they?
I don't know. They're
Oh,
cranberries.
yeah,
You try to
Snaps.
force them on me all the time.
Snaps provolone.
I liked them at one
They're
point
Snap
until they were there
cranberries.
for every day of my life.
They're delicious.
Open their fridge and they're falling out onto the ground. Literally, they're falling out all over the place. I'm like, what is this? Anyways, folks, thank you for tuning in. Congratulations to the winners. I promise as soon as we are able to use our accounts again, you know, and whatever happens, whether they tell us to go F ourselves and don't let us live in a house, or they do, you know, and we just stay living out of the farm. Whatever. Shit's Creek out there. And if not, then they'll let us move back into town like normal people. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to use our money and get our stuff mailed out. I'm kidding. We will. It'll get better. Trust me. We will. Oh, I will survive as long as I have PRT. I know I'll stay alive. I got all this stuff to give. I don't know the rest is live. Woo! Woo! I'm back from outer space. I'm sitting here with this goofy look on my face.
I'm coming down from an acid trip.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know the lyrics to the song. I just know. Right? I don't know.
Is that the beat?
I don't know. Is that the beat? Is that? I don't know. I know this. My enemies will take these sound clips and be like, "Look, he's a Looney Tune," and people will still watch me. And you're still gonna hate me. You're gonna be like, "I hate him. Oh, Big Wolf ruins everything. Oh, he makes me mad." And your head's gonna explode. You're gonna blow. You're gonna blow hard. Blow very hard, my friend, because anger, big anger head blow. Cockroach on wall. I eat. Blow head. It happens. Sword play on the roof. Roofer. Okay. Fat, angry trucker eats sandwich and big shit. That's what they do. That's what you do, right?
You read Say My Nemesis called.
Let's say twerking on. He's over there twerking. Come on, guys. You know I don't do this for the money. Hey, come on now. Come on, guys. I don't do this for I don't ever do it for the money. Wear some sunglasses and look like a damn nuthead in the middle of the night.
Oh, I can't open my eyes. I'm laughing so hard.
In the middle of the night. Anyways, I got to get recording, folks. We got things to do. All right. There, we finally did it. We got things to do. All right. All right. You got it? You understand? You want to get crazy with me, Ese? Don't you know I'm loco? Oh, get out of here. All right, let's play it out of here. Let's get it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to everybody who donated. We appreciate it. We love you.
Thanks for the
We
laughs.
really do. So I mean, Anthony, you're the engineer. Are we going to drop a show on Tuesday or what are we doing? Wednesday?
I mean, I'll try to get it out by Tuesday. If not, then I'll announce it in the show and on the community tab that it's not gonna be till Wednesday.
Okay. I wear my sunglasses at night. I need those donations.
The stupid song was just stuck in my head just now too.
No job.
You picked up on that vibe that I was putting out.
Hmm?
This stupid ass song in my head.
You see the emotion in my face? You see
Hey,
it?
I like that song.
You see the emotion? That's it. All right, guys.
Stay safe out there.